Hey everybody, welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. It's time for Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday evening, April 26, 2020 to be exact. How is everybody doing? I see some people already chatting up in the chat, so just let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're alive, that you're breathing, that you're kicking. Throw in those questions, throw in those comments, questions, concerns, all that stuff, because that's what fuels and drives this show. We've got an exciting show tonight. Real quick, though, I do want to say if you want to help support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PCP like these fine people right next to me. David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Josh, Brian, David, DD Bullseye, Dean Dunlaney, HC, Jason, Javi, Kenneth Monmeat, Michael, Mikey, Peter, Robert, Timo, TJ, and William. Thank y'all so much. You can find Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. Is the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. We just launched a brand new PCP Army movie poll in there to determine what we will be watching in the upcoming weeks and reviewing. Excitement. You can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie, and you can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. How is everybody doing? I hope you've had a great week, a great weekend. I've had an exceptionally cool week. We got a great week coming up because we finally have our first in-print new comic book day. And yeah, it's only going to be like a very small handful of comics, but still, it's a start. You got to start small and we're going to build back up, right? Anyway, thank y'all for being here, Rockin Robbie Live, my absolute favorite show to do because I get to interact with you. And like I said, your questions and thoughts and comments fuel this show. So get them going. Keep them coming. Let me look and see who's here. What's up, CMA Thunder? What's up, Sam Fett? What's up, Derek? What's up, Green Man? What's up, Michael? What's up, Nelson? How you doing, buddy? You made one. That's super cool. Hey, Frankie. What's up, Samuel? Eric? Herminio. How are you doing, buddy? What's up, Bloody Mjolnir 24? I like that. I like that name. What's up, Easy Reader? Hey, Mikey. What's up, Eddie? What's up, Chris? What's up, John? How are y'all doing? Did you outbid me for those Polybag Silverhawks 1 through 3 on eBay? No, Frankie, I have not. Pretty sure I have the full run, all 5 issues or whatever. When there's just 5? Was there 5? I think I have them all already. I'll find out because I'm in the process of getting all my comic books in order, which is an undertaking. So we're about to start with the first 6. The first 6 is the first 6 comic books I want to show off today from my personal collection. So here we go. First up, this is the Fantastic Four #1 from the latest run, the Dan Slott run, the current run. Fantastic Four #1, Alex Ross cover. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Here's my What If #1. What if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four? I love What If, and it's my goal to collect every single issue. I'm close to it, but not complete nearly at all, actually. Here's my Venom #11. The Watchmen variant. Love that cover. We were talking about that last night because today is Dylan's birthday. So I got to give a big shout out to Dylan from Dylan's Comics and say happy birthday, my man. We did a stream last night. Chaos and Comics was on there. And we were talking about the Venom Watchmen comparison and all that stuff. And so it made me think of this cover. So I pulled that one out. Power Ranger fans, you're going to like this one. This is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers #2. This is the Dragon Zord incentive variant. And I'm so happy that I got this. This is a new acquisition of mine. This is a X-Men Annual #9. That's when Storm lifts Mjolnir. So that's pretty neat. Got an Art Adams, Walt Simonson cover there. And then my favorite recent pickup is this Madman #15. Madman Atomic Comics #15. David Bowie cover. Heck yeah. So that is my first 6. Stay tuned to the end of the show. We'll be doing my final 9. So how are y'all doing? I'm doing great. Cheers. Robbie, I got 2 of the Mask of the Phantasm Pops. I got you one. Oh, super cool. Heck yeah. What do I owe you for that, buddy? Just we'll work it out. And heck yeah, that sounds cool. Hey, what's up, Jay Strick? Jay Strick was on the Pitch Black movie review that we did. Jonathan's been doing, he's a member of the Excitable PCP crew, but he's been doing some of these PCP Army movie poll picks with us, of which we just wrapped up the Michael Keaton. So after a week of voting, the winner, and what we will be spotlighting this Friday night at 8 p.m., here on the channel with a live review. So watch it with us. But the winner of the PCP Army Michael Keaton Edition poll is Johnny Dangerously. So we'll be watching Johnny Dangerously and then chatting live about it on the channel Friday night, 8 p.m. Central Time. So be on the lookout for that. And now we have a new poll. It's the Dylan poll. Dylan wants to get on one of these with us. So we got some modern horror classics picked by the audience of the Pitch Black stream. And fantastic movies. Army of Darkness, American Werewolf in London, Repo the Genetic Opera, Tremors, Scream, and more. So, fantastic. Go onto the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group, and it's pinned at the top, and you can vote, and that voting will go till Sunday morning. And then next week, I'll announce the winner. But, John, I really do appreciate that. And Strickland, I appreciate you being here. And I think that we had an excellent conversation on Friday night about Pitch Black. I didn't think that we would get as in-depth at times about Pitch Black like we did. But, yeah. Happy early birthday, Nelson. Just picked up What If number 47. What if Loki found the hammer of Thor? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Robbie here is, as funny as of today, the only film that could be nominated for Best Picture is The Invisible Man, while Bloodshot gets a nod for... Yeah, that is funny, William. That is super funny. Yeah, that Dragon Zord cover is beautiful. Hey, what's up, Brian? Haven't been really buying single issues during the pandemic, just trades and posters. Yeah, there haven't been too many. I bought a couple single issues, like on eBay and things like that, and of course from my shop. What's up, Logan? Hey, what's up, Perry? Long time no see. Perry was on that Dylan stream last night. So once again, happy birthday, Dylan. That son of a bitch. Do you think Romvi is going to be going places, and what title do you want him on? Mine is Brother Voodoo. Yes, he's going places. I think so. I think that he's got a very bright future in the comic book industry. I think his solid work's going to be his creator-owned independent stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that stuff in particular, but his superhero work is only going to get better because he's going to be able to find that bridge between mainstream, work for hire, deadline-oriented work with characters that you can only do so much with, and he's going to find the balance. Right now, I think he's finding that balance. I think some of his superhero work's been okay, and I think some has been great. So I really think with Justice League Dark, that's the perfect book for him to kind of even that through. And I think it's going to be fantastic. As far as what I would like to see him on, I would love to. Well, first of all, I mean, it's hard to say like anything, to be honest with you. I would love to see him on, let's see, like, I would love to see him. Okay, so like, if we're thinking of Marvel, I'd like to see him on like Werewolf by Night for Marvel. I really would. That would be fantastic. That would be cool. And then at DC, I'd like to see him wind up doing something like, I'd like to see him, eventually do maybe a Swamp Thing or an Animal Man or a Constantine. I think that would be really, really cool. Have a Constantine Hellblazer book written by Rom V. That would be, hey, John with the super chat. Thank you so much, John. That's $10 more towards the new microphone, everybody. We really do appreciate it. And don't forget, John, this one's for you. That one's for you, John. John wants to know, do you think the DC Universe service will go away with HBO Max coming out? Maybe. There seems like there's going to be a brand problem with HBO, because what you got HBO Go, you got HBO Max, you got DC Universe going on, you got so much stuff, right? So they're going to have to find out how to get this all under one umbrella. I don't know. I think what would happen is the DC Universe app, if anything, would morph into just more of like Marvel Unlimited. It would probably be more of like a digital comic book service or something like that. I think that's probably the worst that's going to happen with DC. I mean, the worst that could happen with DC Universe is that it just shuts down. But I think it will continue even if HBO Max takes all the streaming stuff away, because I don't think DC Universe has been incredibly successful for Warner Brothers as far as streaming, as enticing people to come in to get new TV shows. You right? So I think that with HBO Max, and that's going to carry more of the DC-oriented live-action shows, right? A bunch have already been announced. I think what will happen is that DC Universe is going to be more just a comic book-focused idea. But we'll see. But that's what I think would happen. Hey, what's up, ALD Collects? What's up, Theoretical Pops? I bought ASM 41 for the movie. Good or bad, do you think? Well, you got to refresh my memory. What happens in 41? I don't remember. Hey, Robbie, have a P.O. box or something to send things to the PCP Collective. I cleaned out my collection and have some stuff to send to the community if possible. Mikey, if you're on one of our social media platforms, just holler at me and I'll send you an address. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything like that. But yeah, absolutely. That'd be cool. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ron V on Swamp Thing would be really cool. Hey, what's up, Hammer Time? Did you notice what won? Hammer Time? Johnny Dangerously won for the Michael Keaton poll. Very excited about that. And Logan says, thank you, John, I'm sure, for the Joker video. Yeah, that's all it takes. Oh, first Morbius is Amazing 41? I thought like 101 was the first Morbius. If you bought Amazing Spider-Man 41, that's a cool deal, but I don't know. That's not the first Morbius. I'm pretty sure it's 101. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's 101. Hey, what's up, David Hatch is in the building. Yeah, Ron V right now is not doing anything at Marvel. Alex Packnadell's doing stuff at Marvel, and that's cool. And so was Michael Morisi. But, yeah, Ron V is just at DC right now and doing his creator-owned stuff. But just speculating what would I like to see him do at Marvel, it was Werewolf by Night. That'd be really cool. I'm going to run that damn Joker van with my car. Well, there it is, everybody. It's right there, in case you missed the unboxing video. So thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat, John. Getting us closer to that new microphone. I haven't seen Johnny Dangerously, Brian, in so long. So I'm very excited to revisit it. Second place was a tie between Multiplicity and Mr. Mom. Dead last was the Dream Team, with the sole vote being Mike the Voice Matthews, which cracks me up. I swear, yeah, 41's the first Rhino. That's a cool one to have. See if they could actually get him in a movie and kind of do it right. I mean, they had a good shot with Paul Giamatti, unfortunately. That movie franchise just didn't quite catch on. I didn't think those Amazing Spider-Man movies were very good. If you want my full opinions, we've got movie reviews that we did a couple years ago when we watched all the Spider-Man films. And we got reviews about all of them. We didn't put Birdman on the list, Barry. We didn't put Birdman. We didn't put Batman. We didn't put Beetlejuice. We didn't put obvious ones. And we didn't put things that were like that were great movies that he was in, like Out of Sight or something like that, or Jackie Brown, in which he plays the same character. So we didn't play things like that. We focused mostly on those really oddball, quirky comedies from the 80s. And then we threw in Multiplicity because we had a lot of fan response for that one. But I personally voted for Mr. Mom, but Johnny Dangerously won. And I know Holshoe voted for Johnny Dangerously, so I'm pretty sure he's excited. But I haven't seen it in a long time. I remember loving that movie when I was a kid. Gung Ho was second to last. Yeah, 101's good. You know, Spider-Man gets the extra arms and all that stuff. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. Yep. So now we know 100% for sure. 41's first Rhino, 101 is the first Morbius. They could, Rhino's still ripe to be used, you know? I think so. Didn't put movies that start with B. Yeah, that's what we did. We were like, we're doing a Michael Keaton poll, but no movies that start with B. Yeah, man, you like that Spawn figure? Just got that in. That's Spawn 1 action figure for the very first one, and there it is. Yeah, I didn't intend anything. I didn't realize they're all a bunch of villains, and then Spawn's there. I think Pinhead is on Spawn's side, though, in this scenario, is what I think. But yeah, what a great team up between the Joker, Starscream, and the Mole Man. Who would ever put those three together? Gung Ho is fantastic. They're all great. Keaton is the best. That's right, John. That's one of the reasons why we did the Keaton podcast, was to honor John, because this weekend is not just Dylan's birthday, but it was also Hammer Time's birthday. So everybody give Hammer Time a hearty, happy birthday. I'm sorry we weren't able to actually hang out and do anything. We're probably not going to be able to do anything for my birthday either. You know, all I've wanted to do for years and years and years is go up to Nashville to go to Dave & Buster's. And because it just never happens. You never get enough people willing to do it, and blah, blah, blah. It just never happens, right? Now we have a Dave & Buster's in town. It will probably be closed. And if it's open, I ain't going. Y'all crazy. My birthday's actually on a Sunday, so I'm just planning on doing a Rockin Robbie live Robbie Day. Maybe I'll have some PCP members on with me. But enough about that. It's John weekend right now. John and Dylan both share birthday weekends with Aaron Judge. So hats off to you, John. Go Yankees, go Tigers whenever we get to play. John, are the Tigers in the Cactus League or the Grapefruit League in spring training? Because it seems like the most likely thing to happen is that they're going to compete in a shortened version of the season in spring training leagues and their camps there. So are y'all Grapefruit or are you Cactus? William Night Shift didn't wind up on the list. It was considered, but it got booted off by the fan choice of Multiplicity, which wound up in second place tie. Grapefruit. That means we could possibly, if this happens, John, let's say the Tigers pull it out and they win the Grapefruit League and the Yankees, no, we are the Grapefruit League. Never mind. I was thinking, never mind. Yeah, we'll still play each other, so that's cool. Oh, well, thank you, John. I really do appreciate that. Keep the pop for a birthday gift. You don't owe me anything. Thank you so much. I got a Phantasm birthday gift. What'd you get, Holshoe? His birthday's yesterday. Twins are in Grapefruit? Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting, though, because it's not going to be broken out by American and National League. It's going to be weird. I wonder if they're going to bring back the NBA in any kind of form or fashion. I think maybe what they should do, I don't know, what would you, I mean, I'd be cool with the idea if, happy birthday, just happy birthday to everybody, damn it. What I would be cool with the idea of them just being like, all right, guys, sorry that you didn't have the run up to the final day of the season, but let's just stop and look at the records of the NBA and just be like, we're going to do a shortened playoff season, no crowds. I'd be cool with that. I'd be super cool with that. All I got is some old, slightly used meth. Happy birthday. Well, damn. Slightly used? David says, I always get amazing gifts for other people and then keep them for myself because I deserve nice things. That's right. I really feel Squirt Soda is missing out being the sole sponsor for the Grapefruit League. Dude, homie, they are missing out on a lot. I miss Squirt Soda, and I can never find it. I used to love Ruby Red Squirt so much. I like grapefruits. I love grapefruit soda. Squirt's one of my jams, man. And I know that I don't even think they produce Ruby Red Squirt anymore, but Squirt's still a thing, but I never find it anywhere. Apparently, it's just a soda for squares. They are now allowing players back into facilities and team practices for NBA. Okay, something's happening then. I mean, obviously they don't want playoffs to go. I mean, I wonder if they're going to try to finish the season. There's a lot up there in the air. What's up, God Tang? What's up, Jesse? How are y'all doing? All right, now let's get to, and if you have any more questions, throw them in. We've been just bullshitting about sports when they're coming back. We got lots of excitement tonight, y'all. We got a new segment, which is going to lead to a new show. I'm doing a top 5 live tonight as well. A non-comic book related top 5. We got some announcements. Lots of fun stuff. I'm very, very excited. So now we'll get to the next bit. The next bit is this. What you been reading? We ain't got no new comics. So I don't know what your pick of the week was last week. We didn't go buy any comics or nothing like that. Of course, some digital releases. By the way, Twin Worlds. Read that like crazy. That book was so good. It's from Action Lab. You can get the digital trade paperback now, like $5.99 on Comixology. It's totally worth it if you just want something fun to read. I really liked it. I liked it like, hey, Bullseye Bob's in the house, everybody. Everything Comics. How you doing, buddy? Love me some Squirt. Yeah, me too. Do y'all have Squirt out there? Is it easy to find? Because it's not easy to find down here. God Tank wants to see the Joker van commercial. I feel like last week maybe I kind of went overboard with the Joker van. So we've already shown it once today in celebration of John's Super Chat. So maybe we'll just hold off for a little bit longer. But I'm glad to see the responsible response to the Joker van video. It's been kind of divisive, but it seems overwhelmingly like people like the Joker van video. Hey, what's up, Jim Mint? Jim Mint's in here too. YouTube royalty, congratulations on 75K. Fantastic. West Coast, okay, so in West Coast, Squirt's all over the place. Yeah, you can barely find Squirt anymore around here. The grapefruit soda. How do we wind up talking about Squirt? Oh, yeah, because John's comment. Yeah, they should totally be the sole sponsor of the Grapefruit League when that comes back. They still sell Ruby Red Squirt? You got to be kidding me. I got to buy some of that. I've got to buy some of that. We have Squirt. Everybody's got all this Squirt, but I ain't. John, all I got to say about that is just we'll see. We'll see. Overkill. Yeah, last week we went way overkill. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm no stranger for overkill. Like if I think, and here's the thing, is it doesn't even matter if other people think something's funny. If I think something's funny, I'll just keep going with it. John can attest to that. That's just what happens. Oh, you got the Our Fighting Forces book and liked it. I got to read the Jim Lee Brad Meltzer story because it was on that digital first thing that DC's doing where every day they got a 99-cent digital comic, and all it is just recycling the new material that was done for the DC Walmart giants, right? Squirt is just Pepsi's Mountain Dew. Fight me. Well, yeah. Mountain Dew is its own thing. In my area, it's distributed by the same people that do Pepsi. But Squirt's grapefruit. So I wouldn't say that Mountain Dew's quite Squirt-like, maybe. But Ruby Red Squirt was my shit. And I haven't had that stuff since like the 90s. So if John says that they still playing it then, or they're still selling it, I'm going to have to find some of that shit. I hate it when the good stuff goes away, like Waffle Crisp cereal. But if you're lamenting the Mountain Dew is Pepsi, okay, that's what I thought, yeah. So that's even more of a hot take than Jim. Or Coke's Mountain Dew. Isn't that mellow yellow? Coke's Mountain Dew's mellow yellow. Better than Coca-Cola, part of PepsiCo. Is Squirt part of Pepsi? John's going to know. John, is Squirt part of Pepsi? What is it? Is it like Dr. Pepper? It's its own entity out there surviving somehow. Cat Shit 1 is an awesome read. I keep hearing good things about that. Keep hearing good stuff about that. I took home a review copy of Superman Smashes the Klan and recently read that. The early copy has uncolored pages for issue 3. That was cool to see. Good story, too. Yeah, I really like that story. We were talking Friday night on our Pitch Black stream, and somebody was saying that they were hearing that they were making an animated film out of that. That would be super, super cool. That would be super, super cool. Derek says, I also bought the Spawn Kickstarter 3-pack. Also been reading X-Men 94 and up and FF 100 and up. Couple issues a day. Those are great books to read. And that Spawn Kickstarter is so amazing. I've only backed the classic Spawn. He just hit $2 million, y'all. $2 million Todd McFarlane has raised in less than a month. Oh, my goodness. For a Spawn action figure. Now, I'm getting the classic one. It's a remaster of this, but it's not this figure. It's a whole new figure. It's bigger. It's badder. It's crazy. Okay, so then Squirt is Dr. Dew's Mountain Dew. I'll give you that, good sir. What other grapefruit sodas are there? I mean, there's like, is Fresca's like a grapefruit soda, right? There's Fresca, and I can't think of anything else. Surely there's something else. Do they still make Tab? When I was a kid, I used to drink Tab, and I used to drink Tab because nobody else drank it. And so I would beg and plead, and every once in a while, they'd be like, because in our house, it was Pepsi and Mountain Dew. At all times, there was Pepsi and Mountain Dew. And probably why I have a soda addiction. But I would in the 80s, I would beg for Tab, and every once in a while, I would get it, and then nobody would drink that but me. And so maybe that's why I liked it. That was like a diet soda. I remember that, Diet Right. Wasn't Diet Right the first diet soda? One time I wanted to make a YouTube channel about sodas and stuff like that, and cereal and sodas and all kinds of stuff like that. Jolt Cola, I remember that. Okay, now we're throw out some random sodas. What's your favorite soda? What's your favorite soda? There's a drink called Izzy's. Yes, I've seen those. Those are good. I've seen those, yeah. The ones in the little glass. Coke owns Tab. John knows all this shit. Surge. We sell Surge at work. Surge is pretty good. If you go to a place that has that Coke Freestyle machine, you can make a grape Surge. Y'all, grape Surge is fucking awesome. Grape Surge is the greatest. The greatest. The greatest. People like Fanta, RC Cola. Oh, Frankie, I had an RC Cola the other day, and I thought I'd like it, and I was like, well, come on, man. I did not like it. Now, one time I had a Pure Cane RC Cola, and it was really good. So do they still sell Tab, though, John? Found Tab 2 years ago. Wow. I wish they bring back New Coke. I wish they bring back Crystal Pepsi. Mexican Coke out here in El Paso, glass bottles. Oh, you ain't kidding, homie. The glass bottle Cokes from Mexico are the best. The ones with the actual pure cane sugar. Those things taste so damn good. There were these weird, like, fruit-flavored Cokes that were in glass bottles I could find for a while. And they were so good. There was one that was a peach, like an Atlanta peach or something, and it was really, really freaking good. Good stuff. YouTube's telling me I'm having blah, 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 blahs. But it looks like we're ironed out. Cream soda second. I hate cream soda for the most part, but I do like that new Dr. Pepper cream soda where they mix it together. I think that's actually pretty good. Sunkist orange or grape is the best. I love a Grape-A-Co. RC Cola used to be the bomb. I remember Double Cola too. Diet Mountain Dew or Pepsi Zero Sugar are my go-tos right now. My go-to is a Cherry Coke Zero. Mountain Dew Zero Sugar is garbage, though. I would say it's garbage, but Diet Mountain Dew's better. It really is. Yeah, that Coke in the glass bottles. When Homer Simpson tried to order a Tab. What about when Marty McFly tried to order a Pepsi Free? Remember when Coke was actually made with cocaine? Good times. Yeah. Do you remember that, Strickland? Oh, Bob, I totally remember Bubble Up. It was like a 7-Up type thing, Sprite 7-Up-y type thing. What was this one I used to drink? I don't know. There was one that was in a glass bottle. It was kind of like a Sprite or 7-Up, but it was a little thicker. I don't even remember what that was called anymore. Yep, don't even remember. Y'all get me fine? Am I glitchy or anything like that? Caramel pop? I've never had a caramel pop. Old school RC Cola in a bottle with a bag of peanuts poured into it. Good stuff. See, I've never tried that. And I know that people, yeah, laggy on video. Yeah, seems like it. I know that people used to do that with like Coca-Cola, put peanuts in it and stuff. I've never done that. Oh, and the voice is lagging? Nice. It's always nice to know. Always nice to know. Maybe it will be ironed out on the replay. Who knows? Right now, I am drinking a straight to ale Monkey Knot. The typical soda that I drink, beer that I drink here on Sunday nights is an IPA from Straight to Ale Brewery. Yeah. So the audio's off. Yeah, something's just happening. Probably with the connection or something. Thank y'all for bearing with it. Even on me, it looks like there's a delay. Even on my monitor. Sidebar, The Last Dance come on again tonight. Yes, I know, and I'm super, super excited. Any news on when the shop will open back up? My shop's been open for like curbside and mail order only, not allowed back in. But I don't know. But right now, the nearest word on when Diamond's ready to go seems to be May 20th. So that's just a date that I've been hearing, and we'll see what happens. And DC resumes this Tuesday with just a very small handful of titles, including The Dreaming number 20. So I've been catching up on The Dreaming. That's what I've been reading. And The Dreaming's been pretty decent. I've liked it. I liked it a lot. It seems like now that I'm back on the way I'm supposed to be. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, we're having some weird laggy issues. Anyway, The Dreaming, I only read for the first couple issues, and it was kind of dense, and it was kind of hard to keep up with, in the midst of everything else. This book is amazing. The artwork is beautiful. It's a very intricate story. It's dense. It really captures the nature of the Sandman stuff and does a great tribute to Neil Gaiman and everything that he did. And I really, really liked it. So I've read this entire first trade, and I've absolutely loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. So that's what I've been reading. Yeah, John, I don't, even on May 1st, if they're continuing to, if they open everything back up, we're probably going to do like a slow roll back out into that. I'm not super looking forward to Empire, Jim. I'm looking forward to any comic book at this point, but I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be kind of like a successor and sequel to, the Kree Skrull Wars. It's going to be picking up on that kind of stuff, but it just kind of feels like thrown together again. I like stories. I like the big epic crossovers. When they want to make something big like this, I want to see it coming. I want to sense it coming, like you did with Civil War, like you did with Secret Wars, like you did with Age of Apocalypse, like a build up to it that makes sense, and you feel it just kind of inching on bit by bit. When they do these ones, look at the difference between Civil War and Civil War II. In the first Civil War, they're building up to the Superhero Registration Act, and you know it's coming, and you can just see it and sense it, and it just feels great when it is ready. You're ready for it to happen. Same with Secret Invasion, right? Even the same with Dark Reign into Siege, right? So then when they did Civil War II, and it just happened out of nowhere, and it just really throws it off. And so I don't like it when they do these, and that's how, War of the Realms was built up to as far as Thor goes, but not for the rest of the universe, right? You didn't get a sense of what was coming out. It didn't really all cross over. But so Empire, I think, is going to be kind of the same thing. It's going to be Avengers and Fantastic Four centric and Kree and Skrull. It's going to involve Hulkling basically uniting the Kree and Skrull empires. That's an interesting idea. Dan Slott, Al Ewing, I think they could do a decent job, but I don't think it's going to be anything super, super phenomenal. I'm more looking forward to Ten of Swords when that eventually drops. That's the X-Men one that they're going to be doing. But the crossover this year or the big event this year that I'm really looking forward to is Death Metal. I am so ready for Death Metal. Strange Flash when I brought the book up, yeah. Hopefully we won't have too many problems. Am I still off as far as my voice? Convergence wasn't necessarily a cash grab, but it was a placeholder. DC, when they moved from New York to LA, they needed 2 months production time to fill because that was going to be the process of moving everything over. So they got Convergence was kind of done separate from DC's main office so that it filled that 2-month gap when they moved. Oh, cool. Cool. Yeah, Death Metal, I'm super, super excited for that one. What's interesting to know is that DC announced that they're going to continue on with distribution by Lunar and what is it, UCS or something like that, Midtown and DCBS actually. So even when Diamond resumes, which is probably going to be, and like I said, the date that has been mentioned around has been May 20th, but nothing's set in stone yet. So don't quote us, don't anticipate it yet. But it's going to, it's weird because DC's releasing comic books for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and they've announced new dates. So you can see those, and now Diamond's got new FOC dates for those. And thank you, David. David says smack that thumbs up button and subscribe. Heck yeah. So anyway, what was I saying? God, I was saying something. Oh yeah, so DC is going to continue. Diamond's about to start in like less than a month, probably. And they've already set a firm date for Diamond UK to resume because they never got March 25th comics, and that's going to be May 11th. And then DC is releasing their stuff, and going forward, there are going to be 3 different distributors for comic shops to go through to get DC books, and that's going to be Midtown, DCBS, and Diamond. And some shops have already started getting that shipment for this upcoming Tuesday, and they're reporting that they're bagged up, bubble wrapped around, they're shipped with care, they were handled with care, there are not many damages whatsoever, the books look crisp. It's almost like Midtown and DCBS know how to ship comics a little bit better than Diamond. Now, they're not having to ship near as many this week as Diamond normally has to ship to shops. So maybe that will do something too. But I'm interested to see, hopefully we'll get ours in tomorrow. I'm interested to see what they look like. But there will be 3 now. So we have now the distributor wars going on out there. Midtown and DCBS are in a position right now to try to impress comic book shops. They already are down a little bit, though, because comic shops don't like the idea of a comic shop being a distributor as well. So there you go. Right now, Diamond Comics have all the Batman 92s, all 230,000 copies of them or something like that, right? So Diamond still has all those. DC has rescheduled that release date for June because they assume that by June, more shops will actually be open. Now, they do. Everybody knows that a lot of shops aren't open or anything like that, and that's why they're starting super, super small. The only new comics you're getting this week from DC are Daphne Byrne and The Dreaming. Why those titles? Probably because they're kind of smaller ordered. There are not a lot of copies of, printed. They probably had overstock that they kept on hand that they had enough to fill those orders. And then some reprints. Batman 89, third print. Nightwing 70, second print, which is going to be allocated. So they didn't have enough of those, apparently. And the Batman Giant number 4. But Diamond has all the Batman 92s right now. And when Diamond opens back up, I'm sure DC's going to arrange to get some of them out, or maybe they got some extra copies for Midtown and DCBS for there. But I foresee most retailers kind of foregoing Midtown and DCBS, but some may, we'll see what their practices are. But I think a lot of people are still going to be not cool with the idea that 2 giant online retailers are also the distributors. And nobody else has jumped on it. So as soon as Diamond resumes, I think for the most part, it could throw some things out of whack. And that's if they take advantage of this opportunity to really show out on Diamond and do some amazing stuff. But we'll see. Those books were originally scheduled for April 29th. Yeah, and if you look at the next couple weeks, they're all books that were scheduled for April. But it's just like a handful each week, and they keep getting larger as the weeks progress. They'll never give you a break, Barry, on the events. There's always going to be 1 or 2 a year. In Marvel right now, it seems like there's 2 big ones and 2 mini ones. Is Sweetheart 2 to 4 going to come out in print? Green Man, I assume so. I hope so. Yeah, War of the Realms was a cool culmination of Jason Aaron's Thor run up to that point. But as a Marvel event, it just didn't work for me. No Joker or Catwoman 80th Anniversary Edition books right now. Basically, you can kind of piece together what's happened. Diamond has those books from April 1st right now. DC lost its printer. They had to find a new printer, so they had to get new books printed from a different printer. Now their normal printer is back up and running. So, yeah, there's just a lot of moving things, and they don't want to release the big things like the Batman 92, the Joker 80th, or the Catwoman 80th. They don't want to release the things that are heavily ordered until more shops are open, and it's going to probably also be easier for them to get a hold of those copies, to get those copies printed, and get those copies shipped out to as many shops as possible. So that's what I think about that. All right. The last previews book, is that still going to be valid to order cutoff? I think they extended the order cutoff of the last previews that was out. But DC's completely got a whole new schedule for FOC now because all the Diamond orders for DC Comics from April and onward have been canceled and now will have to be re-inputted. Every time there's a big Marvel event, just skip it and read the Age of Apocalypse Omnibus instead. That event will be as relevant as it is now, but at least it is really good. Yeah, I think it's a good fun one too. But I like a lot of events. I don't mind them. But yeah, Dark Beast, when they brought him back, Barry, I love me some Dark Beast. You know, there's that Dark Beast action figure coming out. I think I might have to get that. Well, Frankie, I wouldn't think that they'd be damaged just from sitting in a warehouse. What they get damaged from with Diamond is because literally, okay, so I was just talking about how people have been getting these books from DCBS and Midtown, the comic shops have, and they've been bagged up, they've been bubble wrapped like excessively, and then put in a box and then shipped. Diamond literally just throws them in a box. They stack them all up in a box full, tape it up, and ship it. Oh, Sugar Man is a character that was from the Age of Apocalypse. It survived too. It's like a genetic manipulator type thing. Really weird and wild. It's from the Generation Next book, which was the Generation X Age of Apocalypse book. Are there any new Hill House comics coming out? Seem a bunch of the series are near done. No word on any new Hill House comics. Hey, what's up, James? How you doing? This shelter in place has gotten me totally confused about what I already have ordered and even what's supposed to be coming out. Yeah, I know. The whole date's all different now. You get lost in it. I think Sugar Man might be dead, but, I mean, what's dead in comics? If a writer wants to use them, they'll bring them back. The last time I saw Sugar Man was in the DNA run on New Mutants, and they were using X-Man. Yeah, Plunge in a couple weeks, Basket Full of Heads, the final issue in a few weeks. So there are new Hill House books coming out, but no new titles that have been announced post-Plunge. Not yet, but we'll see. Nights like tonight make me wish they would make a sequel to Mystery Man. Mystery Man or Mystery Men? You talking about the movie Mystery Men? I love that movie. Underappreciated and often forgotten about comic book movie. It's a comic book movie. They brought Onslaught back in the Axis event, but with Red Skull and said, yeah, the Red Onslaught. Didn't really like Axis. I really do like Onslaught, though. They brought Onslaught proper back before, too, but Rob Liefeld was involved, and I just didn't really like it. Plunge is a great read. Pretty much all the Hill House comics are good reads. Yeah, Mystery Man, that's a great movie. Yeah, David loves Mystery Man. That's a fantastic one. What do you think's an underappreciated, undervalued, and oft-forgotten about comic book movie? Something like Mystery Man. What do you think? You know, a lot of people don't remember that Men in Black is based on a comic book. What do y'all think? Anyone like the specials? I don't know what we're talking about. Is that a comic book? Is that a Dave Gibbons comic book? For some reason, in my head, Blank Man. I haven't showered in 4 days, so I smell like Superman looks. Showering after the stream. Back to work tomorrow after 2 weeks off, says Mikey. Good luck with that. Cowboys versus Aliens. Brian, I've never seen that movie. Yeah, Mr. Furious, that little ball just saved your life. Barbed wire? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, Blade. Specials is a ska band. It is. Lady Death animated. Hey, what's up, Chad? Chad's in the house, everybody. YouTube is 90. How you doing, my man? I watched your show last week. You had Hero and Kid on there. That was super cool. I got to hang out with them a little bit last night on Dylan's stream for his birthday. Heck yeah. Y'all crazy. I do once again want to point out that the winner of the PCP Army movie poll was Johnny Dangerously. So this upcoming Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, come and check out our talk and thoughts about Johnny Dangerously. And so watch it this week so you can chat and partake of the conversation with us. The one about the cartoonist that had cancer, don't remember the title. You talking about American Splendor? Just listen to the original version of A Message to You, Rudy, today. Road to Perdition. Yes, you're right, Peeler. Road to Perdition. A lot of people don't realize that's a comic book. Same with History of Violence, which is a great film. And The Losers. Yep, The Losers. No problem, buddy. Ghost World. That's an excellent answer, Eric. That's a great one. Oh, heck yeah, 90. Just let me know. Yeah, American Splendor. American Splendor was good. Paul Giamatti is, was it Harvey Pekar? How about a Comics Revisited episode for Marvels? Kirk, we did one. There is one. It was early in season 2. It's available. It's there. Just look for it. You find it. 89's Punisher? Come on. One day we're going to put that on a movie poll, and someone's going to vote us to watch that movie. But yeah, Kirk, me and Jelani covered Marvels. We did one probably around August or so, so I think it's like the second episode of season 2. But if you just typed in Marvels, Pop Culture Philosophers, you should be able to find it. Maybe Alex Ross, Marvels, Pop Culture Philosophers, Comics Revisited, Pop Culture Philosophers, Marvels, Alex Ross, Kurt Busiek would probably 100% pull it up for you. I would say I'll throw a link in the description when we're done, but I won't remember to do that. Yeah, I've read History of Violence. I like the movie better, but I've read it. I've read Road to Perdition, too. And what was the sequel? They did a sequel to Road. They did like 2 or 3. Anyway. But yeah, History of Violence, I like the movie better than the comic. Alexander, do you think the DC Universe will be gone and then merge with HBO Max? No, John asked me this earlier with Super Chat that got the Joker video pulled up. So, if anybody wants to see that Joker video, I think you know what you got to do. But no, I'm just kidding. But what I basically said was that I think if anything, they might move all the TV shows over to HBO Max, and DC Universe will probably just become like the comic book app, kind of like DC's version of Marvel Unlimited. That's what I think would happen. Tank Girl and Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, those are good ones. Cool World. Is Cool World based on a comic? I remember that one. Yeah, Mikey, I have a feeling that we're going to do that 89 Punisher movie one day. And why not, Captain America and that Fantastic Four, and why not, right? Why not? Chris Evans and Zoe Zadana are great in The Losers. Too bad they are not in any more comic films. You got that right, John. You got that right, you smart ass. That's hilarious. Hey, and Peeler with another super chat. Thank you so much, John. Helping us raise money towards that new microphone. Sound crisp and clear, able to touch the microphone without it sounding like... And because you requested it, my friend. Not only does every super chat help us get the new microphone, but every super chat will let you see the Joker video. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate it. Any excuse to play this video. You know, if I let it play a little bit longer, you hear that the song continues. It gets even better. Yeah, I'm going to be real with you. I don't know if this Joker thing's going to go anywhere. It may not always be a Joker van, but yeah, there's the Joker van. Just the only reason I come here now, says John. Well, I'm glad I've got something to entertain you, homie. The Crow. I apparently had a hot take, controversial opinion last night when I told everybody that I always thought that the Crow movie sucked, but I mean, I respect people's opinion on it, but I just never liked it. And then I was talking about how I got the original Crow books, and they were all like flipping out on like, how'd you get those? Or what do you mean they're so cheap? And I was like, they're really, really just rough. And they're like, but even then, you should have gotten them cheap. And I don't know. So maybe one day I'll do with the Crow what I'm doing with Spawn right now and become a Spawn fan. As you see, it's worked. I've read 40 issues of Spawn. I've read various miniseries by Spawn, all written by Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore. And I'm loving it. And I have more of a mad respect for Todd McFarlane than I ever have. I still have my same criticisms about his work, but now I'm just focusing on what I love. And I even just got this damn Spawn figure. So it works. Just decide one day that you want to be a fan of something and just do it. Do it. Just do it. From Hell. That's a good one. A lot of people, there's a lot of movies that people don't realize are based on comic books. It's almost like back in the day, they used to like hide the fact that they were based on a comic book. Captain America with the big motorcycle helmet's pretty funny. Hell yeah, it is. Dredd, the Carl Urban Dredd. That's a fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. With the Joker cards, hell yeah. I watched it at the theater in 3D too, and that was good. You should secretly make the audio of the Joker van thing your ringtone on Whole Shoe's phone. And then I'll call him all the damn time. Mikey, that's a good idea. Oopsie, we made Marvel movies poll. Captain America, Punisher, FF, Trial, The Incredible Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Nick Fury with the Hasselhoff. With the Hasselhoff. Man-Thing could be a part of that, I guess, too. I've never seen that one. Some dude just paid $350 for Crow #1 today on a live sale. Wow. I don't know if mine's a reprint or not. I have to double check. I got them not too long ago. The first movie of the trilogy, Unbreakable, I think is still underappreciated. Unbreakable? Yeah. Yeah, when we rewatched it last year when Glass was about to come out, it didn't age well for me, but the Split's really good too. But I loved Unbreakable back in the day. And yeah, that Dredd movie is amazing. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I think it's better for people not to know that that's based on a comic book. There was talk of a Dredd Mega City 1 TV show. Would love for them to get weird with that. The Dredd movie was great, but those early Dredd books are full of super strange stuff. Yeah, they are, and that would have been really cool. James says, can't be a Liefeld fan. No judgment on those who are. I tell you what, I think you can. I know people that are, and I am a fan of certain of his work. In particular, I really like his Heroes Reborn stuff. And I'm only halfway trolling. I kind of mean that. Never hassle the Hoff. He is Nick Fury. I probably have like a reprint or something, if I had to guess. Hell yeah, Bob. Road to Perdition. That's a good one. That's a great movie with Tom Hanks, Daniel Craig. Great movie. And the book is decent. I like the book. Was that Max Allan Collins? Is that who that was? I've been collecting the Judge Dredd oversized Titan books. I've only got about 6 right now. Those are great stuff. I used to have a lot of some. I guess it was, I want to say it was Alan Wagner, and I had some Garth Ennis stuff, obviously, because back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was trying to get up any Garth Ennis I could. He was one of my favorites. Sin City. Sin City's a pretty decent adaptation of that film. I never saw the second one. Have you bid on any Jim Lee art? No, I have not. I don't roll like that. Yeah, Max Allan Collins, hell yeah. And they did a sequel of Road to Perdition, too. I remember that. The latest Word Balloon podcast with Rob Liefeld just reminds me how hard it is to hate the guy when he is so excited about comics all the time and it's what we need. It seems like he's so excited about comic books all the time, sometimes, and then you wind up watching videos where, or when he just kind of like goes on tirades about things and he's kind of got all these weird random hot takes that are just kind of like not asked for. It's like the meme, it's like nobody. Rob Liefeld. Time Cop is the best comic to movie translation ever. Won 6 Academy Awards. Punisher Warzone. That's not the one with John Travolta. The Punisher is the one with John Travolta with Thomas Jane. The Warzone movie was the one with Ray Stevenson. And both of those movies have their certain strong points. But I think Warzone's maybe probably better. The Punisher, the one with Travolta and Thomas Jane, I didn't really like that much. My favorite Punisher thing so far, and I still haven't seen the Netflix series, by the way, but there was a little short film they did called Dirty Laundry with Thomas Jane. It's just a little short film, and that is the most accurate Punisher out there ever, I think. Because even the Netflix one, there's some differences, some things. Yeah, Mikey says that Dirty Laundry was the best Punisher movie. Yeah. I think so. Thomas Jane really wanted to play Punisher so bad, so hardcore. But they kind of cheesed up that one. There was an era. It was the post-Raimi Spider-Man era, and they didn't quite know how to do it yet. You know what I'm saying? It really did take the MCU to iron out how to not make a comic book movie feel like a comic book movie, but to feel like a big, giant movie. Big tentpole action, slam-bang sci-fi, Independence Day. The Will Smith of the 90s is the comic book movie of the 2010s, Yeah, American Splinter's good. Bob says, I am still flipping out over Marvel making an official announcement that we will see my boy Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. Official, not a rumor. Boom. Bob, that's official now? I have not seen that. That's awesome. Liefeld gave us Deadpool. How can you not like him? Oh, Liefeld gave us Deadpool. Fabian Nicieza had a lot to do with that too. And so did Joe Kelly. And so did Christopher Priest. In fact, the Deadpool that you know and love today is probably more influenced by Joe Kelly and Ed McGuinness than Rob Liefeld. Mikey says, Robbie, stop stealing my opinions. Jane is a huge Punisher fan, but he had no control of that unfocused script. Yeah, and Travolta was just whack. And then Warzone was really good at first, and they were kind of nailing it. And then Jigsaw was just so over the top. It just doesn't fit with that Punisher. It just doesn't fit. You can't have an over-the-top cheesy villain. You got to have a threatening, menacing villain. It's official, Bob says. Well, shit, we got a scoop right here from Bob. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, Bob, by the way, if you wanted to do that video this week, send me a message and let's talk about it. I know Bueller mentioned to me that you were kind of game for it this upcoming week, so let me know. Yeah, right. Jigsaw was so poorly done. Now, Jigsaw's never been the most threatening Punisher villain. He could be threatening, though. He really could. I used to read Brigade and Bloodstrike back in the day. I used to love those ones. Liefeld was responsible for those. Extreme Studios. Here's the craziest thing about Rob Liefeld. I don't know how, but this dude has managed to make a lot of money without really seeming to do a lot. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, he's not a prolific creator. Like, and nothing, like, a lot of stuff doesn't stick. And I don't know how he's able to, like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like, he sold, Awesome Studios or whatever, and he sold all the, like, and it's just, I don't know how this dude's done it, but he has connections, obviously. Rob Liefeld knows connections. And obviously that's something that was probably very strong with him. And one of the reasons why he was very successful at Image early on. But as I've been reading Spawn and you see the ads for things, you're like, out of everybody, the person who reached too far too soon was Rob Liefeld. It's almost like, just focus on young blood and then start slowly building out. Like, Todd didn't just immediately start with all these different Spawn titles and things like that. And yeah, there's a lot of excess going on there with Spawn and with some of the others as well. But like, Rob seemed to like not ever be focused at Image, and he was always thinking of the next thing. Oh, Herminio, I hated Major X. I hated it so bad. It was so bad. Stephen Platt run on Supreme is better than Liefeld. Yeah, I think any issue of Supreme written by Alan Moore is better. The movie Jigsaw was better than the Punisher Netflix Jigsaw. Oh yeah, that's right. Jigsaw is in the Punisher series, isn't he? The Netflix version was whiny and had a little tiny scar on a pretty boy, huh? Sounds like Doom. Doom's only whining in the beginning, though. I get why they use Jigsaw, since besides Bullseye, he's the only reoccurring villain in the 90s Punisher books. They should use Barracuda. Use the Russian and make him more threatening and less stupid. Heck yeah, Kirk. I only got, so long to go, too. I'm on issue 40, so I'm getting there. I've focused away. I started focusing on Madman. I read all the Dark Horse stuff, and now I'm doing the Dreaming, so I can get caught up for the Dreaming returning this week. And the Dreaming I'm liking a lot. Really great artwork. What's her name? Bill Quee Evely or something like that? Ugh, the artwork in the Dreaming is absolutely amazing. So freaking good. So freaking good. So good. But yeah, I need to get back to Spawn and read some more. Wait till you get to issue 150 of Spawn. That's when it gets really good, really, because people tell me it starts falling off after issue 100. Yeah, I'd like to meet McFarlane now. I have more of respect for him now than ever before. Liefeld has pictures of Image Comics on Epstein's Island. Maybe. The problem was they used the Russian in the previous film, and it was supposedly to be questionably a sequel. I just say do Space Punisher. Why not do the Sponisher? Why don't, when he dies and becomes an avenging angel? And with that, we're going to leave it for the first half. We'll be right back. Y'all, don't go away. You know how we do it here at Rockin Robbie Live. We're going to be coming back with the second half. For the break, though, please enjoy this tune. We decided last week we'd call it The Ballad of the Homie. This is composed by me. It's got no lyrics. But just listen, stay tuned. Go grab another beverage, pop some popcorn, do whatever you do. Go take a hit. I don't know, whatever you do, go do it. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all, thank you so much. Hey everybody, welcome back here to Rockin Robbie Live on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We've had a great show already. We talked about the distributor wars. We showed off my first 6 comic books from my personal collection. Stay tuned to the end of the show, post show and tell, when I do my final 9. We answered a lot of questions, so if you have any more questions, any more thoughts, any more concerns, any more comments, get them in right now. Let's fuel the show and keep going. We got lots of exciting stuff coming up in the second half, including a brand new segment called Marvel in the 90s. Very excited for that. We got a new top 5 coming up live here right now, coming up towards the end of the show. And like I said, show and tell, all that stuff and more. Get your questions in, get your thoughts, anything, ask me anything. Comic books, movies, pop culture, television, a whole lot more, music, life, all that stuff. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can find Pop Culture Philosophers also on Facebook and Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. We got a brand new PCP movie poll going on right now. And you can follow me personally on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. Chris, I do not still have that sick Evil Dead jacket. It's a windbreaker, so it was kind of like... So I got rid of it a while ago. I just never wore it. It was kind of frumpy looking, too, to be honest with you. It was cool for that photo shoot, though. That was a photo shoot we did for our Greenlit album. And I got to give major props to James Lineback. He was the photographer for that photo, so that's good stuff. Anyway, you can also help support the channel at PCP, or at patreon.com/PCP, like David, Alex, Brian, Nelson, Reggie, Josh, Brian, David, D, Bullseye, that's Bob, Everything Comics, he's in the chat, Dean, Dunlaney, HC, Jason, Javi, Kenneth, Monmeet, Michael, Mikey, Peter, Robert, Timo, TJ, and William. Thank you all so much. You can also support the channel through a super chat, and I do want to say that all super chats go towards our new microphone. We've had some today already. I do appreciate that, John. Thank you so much. David says, my garage is an episode of Marvel in the 90s. Hell yeah, right? I bet it is. I bet it is. So get your questions, get your thoughts, whatever you want to chat about. You want some comic book recommendations. You want some inside information about something. Just let us know. This is your opportunity. We always have a great time here at Rockin Robbie. Please do hit that thumbs up button. Let's see if we can get as many people in the chat as thumbs up. It looks like we've already surpassed that because we lost some people during the break. It's okay. It usually happens. But I hope some more people come in and check us out because we got a good bit left to do, and I'm very excited for it. So is anybody here excited for DC Comics to come back this week? Even if it's just Daphne Byrne and The Dreaming, are you excited? Is anybody pumped for those? Anybody pumped for the 3rd print of Batman 89, maybe? And what are you missing the most? You know, the most. You know, I also do want to point out that Bueller just wrapped up an incredible week of comic book YouTuber interviews on the channel Comics with Bueller. He had Jim Mint on Monday. He had me on Tuesday, Comic Tom 101 on Wednesday, Reggie Collects on Thursday, and Brian from Simple Man's Comics on Friday. And they were all absolutely fantastic. Logan, you got a thumbs down? Thumbs down? Logan, I knew it was you. You want comic book recommendations? What comic book recommendations? My whole life is comic book recommendations. Is there a particular one you would want recommendations on a particular author, a recommendation for a particular genre, particular superhero? Hey, what's up, Robert? Welcome. Yeah, David, that was an awesome week of videos for Bueller. Yeah, absolutely. I think right now he's doing work on the Mainframe Comic Con that's been going on this week. I'm sure that you guys are aware of it because I'm sure that your YouTube timeline has been filled up with it like mine has been. But they're doing great stuff for a great cause. It's going right now, and I almost was like, man, maybe I shouldn't do it because Bueller, for instance, had an interview with Ron Mars at 7:30, I believe, right? But I was like, you know what, though? We're just going to keep doing Rockin Robbie Live, you know, for the PCP Army. Bob says, I am ready for New Comic Book Day, whether it's a few books or a few DC books or anything else. I'm missing New Comic Book Day. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Logan's missing Batman 92. Yeah, we're going to be missing that one for a while. Till June. It's coming out in June. And once again, welcome Robert and welcome Zombie X Dance. Herminio's still in the building, and so is Eric. Good to see y'all still here. The true PCP Army soldiers are the ones that make it through the first break. And then that one time we had a second break, unheard of. By the way, next week is going to be a Teen Dog Shades night. And also, speaking of interviews, next week on Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, I will be interviewed by Will from Hero and the Kid on the Sunday Sit Down. So please go and subscribe to Hero and the Kid. Will is an up-and-comer here in YouTube, and he's eventually going to take over because he's got a long path ahead of him, and he's starting early, and I wish I would have started early. But Will and his dad, Sean, do absolutely amazing work. Two fantastic fellas. Sean is just the coolest. I never sense nothing but sincerity coming from Sean. And that's really cool. And that's not something I usually feel coming off of everybody. Sean oozes with that. So I'm really, really pumped to be interviewed by Will for Hero and the Kid on the Sunday Sit Down next Sunday. So get ready for it. Flash, Daredevil, Batman, and Thor. Man, I'm missing those so much. We got Flash coming, I think, in a couple weeks. So I'm excited for that. We got Green Lantern coming back too. Batman, Thor, and Daredevil, we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer, but not too much longer for Daredevil and Thor, hopefully. I didn't know that they were releasing an Ex Machina compendium. Like, what the fuck? I didn't know. I don't know if I should get it since I have book one. Just curious on those. I've never read that book. I hear nothing but good things about that book. It's Brian K. Vaughan. I am certain that book is good. It's Brian K. Vaughan, Tony Harris, right? So yeah, absolutely. You probably didn't see my comment earlier, but I finally started Canto, bro. Loving it. Canto's amazing. I'm actually showing off my Canto number 1 and the final 9 tonight, Bob. I hope you're still around. Yeah, Canto's a good book. It's so direct to the heart and nature of story and how it resonates within your soul. My soul gets plucked reading that book. Fantastic. Let me tell y'all something else. This just popped in my head. So every weekend, Andrew Lloyd Webber's been doing this thing where they're letting one of his musicals be available to stream for free on YouTube, right? First week was Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat. I watched it. Second week was Jesus Christ Superstar. I watched it for the first time. It was the 2012 production. It brought me to tears. I loved that so much. Oh my God. My whole life, I've been missing out on Jesus Christ Superstar. My whole life. Glad that's ended. Last week was Phantom of the Opera, one of my favorite musicals of all time. It was amazing. This week was the sequel to Phantom of the Opera. I didn't even know it existed. It's called Love Never Dies. It sucked so bad. It was so disappointing to me. It's so soap opera-y. It's bad. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's bad. It's really bad. 2 more weeks of this. What are they going to be? I don't know. I'm thinking Cats, maybe Evita, maybe Cinderella. I don't know. I have no idea. I hope it's Cats, because if it's Cats, we're all going to watch the musical of Cats. Then we're going to finally watch Cats when all this lockdown, shutdown stuff ends. The homies are coming over, and the first thing we're going to watch is Cats, because y'all paid back in the day. What was that, like Festivus Day or something? It was one of those streams. You guys gave, it was Festivus, I think. We said, if we hit $25, we're going to do Cats, and we are going to do it. PCP Army for life, hell yeah. Would like to see the ending of that excellent latest Daredevil arc. Yes, me too. Me too. But yeah, Bob, Canto's amazing. Gideon Falls. Yes, I'm missing that. Luckily, we just kind of hit the end of an arc on that one, right? So, didn't we? Nunya, what's up? Since I've been buying off eBay and getting keys I want and stuff, I almost would rather spend my comic budget that way instead of going on new stuff. Wow. Some people collect that way, and that's a valid way to collect and a valid reason to collect. I love keeping up with the newest story, and that's a separate thing. And one of the greatest things, my homie Robbie Bateman was talking about this. He said, that one of the greatest things about the comic book community is there's so many different facets of it. There are people that collect Silver Age and Bronze Age. There are people that collect old school stuff. There are people that just get new stuff. There are people that just really like certain things. There are people. There's so many different people. There are people that spec on it. There are people that just buy it and collect it and read. There are people that just collect as many as they can and get all the variant covers. People that collect for art. People that collect for story. People that collect for characters. It's an amazing community, is it not? Being part of the comic book world is absolutely the best. No matter how you collect. But yeah, like you said, after missing new comics for a few weeks, I've picked up so many badass keys I've been wanting, and I almost just want to keep doing that. I feel you, too. I've been kind of doing the same thing. I've been buying some key issues, things like that. I bought a Starscream. I bought a Spawn action figure. Of course, it didn't hurt that the government gave me $1,200, so that helped out a little bit. PCP Army provided this Joker van. Y'all thought it was coming, didn't you? I'm going to take it easy on that tonight. I'm going to take it easy. I plan on trying to get some legs out of this Joker video, so I don't want to overdo it. Remember, Robbie, I need that van. I'll let you know the date. John, you let me know the day you need the van, and you can totally borrow the van. You can totally have the van for a minute. You just got to bring it back. And the water gun does not work. We found out that the hose is completely come apart in one moment, and the only way to fix it is completely take apart that van. And I'm not comfortable with that. Not comfortable at all. Not comfortable at all with that. So I don't care if it squirts water. I'm not going to use that feature anyway. That Starscream's badass though. Since I figured out how to make it go into jet mode, I haven't taken it out because I'm kind of worried about breaking it. Transformers are easier to break than Power Ranger Zords, I'll tell you that. I've broken a few. But yeah, getting keys is a great thing, you know. If I didn't buy any new comics, I would be much easier to get all the Fantastic Four comics I want, which is all of them. I was very pleased to, because I got very disconcerted the other day when I realized I didn't have a Fantastic Four 211. So then I looked through and I am missing like 6 or 7 issues post 200. They're all between 200 and 230 or something like that, and I had no idea. I thought I had complete down to 150, and I was like, well, what else am I missing? I am complete down to 150, aside from those random ones from the 200s. It's almost like at a certain point, I think I bought issue 200, and I just kept going backwards, and I forgot to fill the ones right above it. That's what happens when you count your eggs before your chickens hatch. That's what happens. So now I'm working my way back to 100. Then we can start filtering down to 50. I think getting down to 50 is going to be pretty decent, especially since I already have a 52, 65, and a 56. But those first 50 are going to be difficult. I only have 2 comics in the first 50 issues of Fantastic Four. So, yeah. That's the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. But yeah, John, you just let me know, especially with all the charity and the goodwill that you're showing the PCP Army and the nation. We really do appreciate it. So, seriously, you let me know. You want to borrow the Joker van for a weekend? It belongs to the entire PCP Army, y'all. Let's see. Sean is my homie. Will interviewed Biggie Shaq today. Yeah, I saw that they were doing that one, but I didn't get to check it live. But I can't wait to check it out. What comic would you recommend for a person who is unconscious? Okay, so if someone is unconscious, let's say you want to have maybe a dramatization, or you want to read this to someone while they're lying there unconscious, right? Maybe seek into their subconscious brain. Promethea by Alan Moore. That's the one. That's my number 1 recommended comic book to someone who is unconscious. Started to read Blood Realm Volume 3. I love the 3-color art. Need to read the other volumes. Yeah, I've heard good stuff about that one. Some books from that company that I really do like is The 12, Zero Jumper, and Tinseltown. I like those ones. I'm missing Immortal Hulk, Daredevil, Venom, Amazing Spider-Man probably the most. I'll tell you what, Immortal Hulk finally got super badass again. And then the diamond shut down. So there you go. Robbie, what's your thoughts on miniseries? I'm personally not into them. I like being into it for the long haul, not some quick 5-issue thing. Me personally, Zombie, I really like miniseries in conjunction with the nice ongoing series. I love collecting ongoing series, but what I like about miniseries is that sometimes in an ongoing run, you'll have a bold vision at first, very clear, concise, and it starts losing itself a little bit further down the run. Look at Kurt Busiek's Avengers run. It starts off so strong, and it ends strong, but it gets kind of meandery there in the middle. What I like about a miniseries is it's a very clear, distinct vision, beginning, middle, and end. So I like that. So I like a miniseries, too, because also when you got a pull list of 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 200, 300 titles, whatever your pull list is, it's always easier to justify adding a miniseries. And then when you're throwing in the indie idea, I love the fact that Little Bird was 5 issues. I love the fact that The Savage Shores was 5 issues. I love the fact that Kanto was 6 issues, and now we got a one-shot coming up, and then a second series. Some of my favorite comic books are kind of told in this format, Hellboy being one of them. So I'm actually cool with miniseries, and I think they're really, really cool. But I love an ongoing, too. So I think there's room for both, and I love both. Can't wait till Batman the Smile Killer, or whatever it's called, follows up Killer Smile, yeah. Me too. Anything by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino working together? Come on, man. That's going to be good. Check out Godspell if you like Jesus Christ Superstar. I will. Hey, Hero the Kid is here. How awesome time last night. Will was a little fried by the time we went on, though. I could tell. That's pretty... Because I kept going, man, this is really late for me. I'm a grown-ass man in Central. You're in Eastern. I was like, I bet Will is like out of it. Hey, peace out, Nelson. You have a good one. Anyway, Sean, I'm assuming this is Sean since you mentioned Will like that. But Sean, I was talking about you earlier. I really appreciate you and everything you do, and I cannot wait for that video next week. I'm super, super pumped for that. So I appreciate you guys asking me to be a part of it, and I love what you bring to the community, and I want to thank you for that. So thank you so much. You are a very sincere and kind and courteous person, Sean, as the vibes that I'm picking up from you through the internet. So I really do appreciate it. And I just wanted you to know that what you're doing is awesome. What you're doing for Will is fantastic, and your encouragement to him is going to change his life for the better. And you're doing the Lord's work. So thank you so much. Wait, we got a super chat. You know what that means. Thank you so much, Mikey. I appreciate it, my man, with the $5 super chat helping us get the new microphone. That's right, because all new super chats go towards the new microphone, and we are getting close to about 30 to 35% funded. And it's all because of you. It's because of you that we can get things like cameras, microphones, and Joker vans. Joker vans, cameras, microphones. These things are essential to do what we do, and you help us do what we do, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mikey. Not just for the super chat and the donation to the channel and contributing to the new microphone, but thank you so much for allowing me to play that Joker video one more time. Mikey says, I got a lot of doubles. Post 200 of FF I can throw in with a PCP care package if you know what you're missing. I'll message you on Facebook, brother. Hell yeah. Message me on Facebook. I'll let you know. I know exactly where my Fantastic Four comics are. I'll tell you that. I always talk about how my comic collection's in disarray. Not Fantastic Four. I know where every single one of them effers are. Every single one. But yes, Mikey, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Newly joined our Patreon account as well. So I do want to once again say thank you for that as well. I appreciate all the support. And even if you can't support us financially, liking, sharing, subscribing, watching and commenting and being a part of the community here, especially on the live streams, Means the world to me, and thank you so much. It allows us to do what we do. It's a dream come true. I've always wanted to be on TV. You know, when the DARE officer came to us in first grade, he lined everybody up, and we were supposed to tell what we wanted to be when we grew up. And everybody was saying, like, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be an astronaut. They get up to me. Lil Rockin Robbie, 6 years old, goes up in front of the class. You know what I say? I say, I want to be on TV. The DARE officer goes, I can't remember his name, but the officer looks at me, he goes, well, there's a lot of ways you can get on TV. How do you want to be on TV? And I said, I don't care. I just want to be on TV. And I know that some people watch this show on their TV. 6-year-old Robbie says, thank you. Thank you. Hey, Justin's in the house. Justin Birch, letterer extraordinaire. It was cool hanging out with you last night for Dylan's birthday. Thank you for being here. David says, I collect comics because I hate having money in my bank account. Hell yeah. Oh, yeah, Herminio, I'm totally still reading the Kirby Lee Fantastic Four. I've actually, I jumped off of it for a moment because I'm trying to get through this. The dreaming is really dense, and somehow I thought that I could read 19 issues of The Dreaming today, and I read 6. So, but anyway, that's hubris right there. But yeah, fantastic stuff. Where I'm on issue 27 or 28 right now. I'm somewhere in the late 20s. I'm really gearing up. The 30s kind of die out for me, to be honest with you. I think the 30s are okay, but the 40s, 50s, and 60s are like probably the peak of the Kirby Lee stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, now I'm on Dreaming because I also got distracted by Madman. I'm on a Madman reread. I've finished what I call Phase 1, meaning I read the Tundra stuff and I've read the Dark Horse stuff. So now it's time for me to read Atomics and Madman Atomic Comics for the very first time, and I'm very excited about that. So I'm about to get to the second half of the Madman run after the Dreaming. And then I'll start focusing more on Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four is just always one of those ones that I'm always reading. It just so happens that I'm in the late 20s right now, but I'll just, like, even if I took 2 weeks off, I'd get right back to it. Even if I took a few months off, I'd get right back to it. And a few months from now, I may be on issue 200, going through the John Byrne run in like 230-something, you know, so. That's great stuff, though. Great stuff. Here on the Kid, can't wait for your interview with Robbie. Hell yeah, man. Me neither. There's only one mini I absolutely loved, Murder Falcon and Watchmen, even though I'm aware it's more of a maxi. Well, maxi series, mini series, it's, you know, limited series, it's the same thing. I think mini series and maxi series are kind of an outdated term at this point. I think limited series is just the best way to say it, right? And let's be honest, everything's a limited series, even ongoings. There's very rarely even an ongoing now that will never, at some point, reboot with the number one because number one sell and they want to bring attention to it and things like that. Yeah, I'm excited to check out Biggie's, guys, because when you told me last night that it was going to be Biggie, I was like, that's going to be a wild interview. I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out. I'm wanting to see some of the indies like AWA had just released a bunch of issue ones like Archangel 8, Hotel, etc. Yeah. They're going to continue to do those on like webtoons.com or something like that, but now that we know print's coming back, so that's really cool. I grabbed all their number ones except for Red Border. Excuse me, Red Border was just okay to me. It wasn't my favorite, I'll be honest with you. But overall, it was a very strong launch. Using it for the wedding DC versus Marvel theme. What are we talking about there? I don't know what we're talking about. I've fallen behind on the comments, so let me skip through. Oh, Lord. Where are we at? Thoughts on Ice Cream Man? I love it. I love it. Yeah, Comic Book Therapy says, yes, love the clapping Joker. And welcome. Killlock's a great mini. I just got caught up on that one because on that last Best Comics of the Month stream, Bob, Bueller, and Dylan just kept talking about how good that book was. So I picked it up and got caught up on it, and I loved it. And we had a new issue right before the shutdown. I'm glad y'all like the Clapping Joker. Some people, believe it or not, don't like it. Don't like it. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, Robbie. We really enjoy this, and it means the world to us every time all you big hitters shout us up. Big hitters, come on. Thank you. We are working pretty hard to catch up and keep it fun at the same time. Yeah, y'all get there. Just slow and steady wins the race. Man, nothing happened here on this channel for a long time. Long time. But, just keep with it. If it's something you like doing, it's the passion that takes over. Thank you, Herminio. I'm on the TV. Comic book therapy as well, yeah. Robbie, is the song Every Breath You Take by the Police a stalker anthem? It wasn't meant to be so, but totally, come on. It's got that context. It's not even subtext. It's right there in the front. Well, thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that. Hey, what's up, Sleepy Reader 666? How are you doing, homie? Part of the Portland Comics crew. Best comics crew out there. I love all you dudes. I can't wait till everything dies down. And this is going to be a while before I'm comfortable with traveling a lot. But I want to come and hang out. I've always wanted to see Portland. And I want to hang out, drink some coffee, drink some beer, and talk some comics with y'all in person. I love all of y'all out there. I wanted to become a superhero. Be careful if you have that aspiration. The biggest villain is the U.S. government, but they love me for saving them millions in wrongful death lawsuits and or mass riots. Interesting comment, Eric. Looking forward to year 0. Are you talking about the comic book, or are you making a comment about... Red Border gets really badass. Trust me, one of my faves now. Read through issue 3. Okay, Brett. I trust you, and welcome. Have there been any hints of Saga coming back? No, I haven't heard anything about that one. I know initially they said they wanted a year break, and it's been a little bit beyond that. But if anything, it'll give them some time to get caught up, and that would be a great thing. Like once things get going again, maybe like late summer, early fall, things are kind of more relatively back to normal for the year, I should say. Maybe bringing that back would be a big thing to do, I should get caught up. I dropped out somewhere in the 20 issues or something. For the first 3 years, David Hatch, it was just me watching Robbie's stream, but he had to pay me. I will say this. When I first started live streaming, and it was still, there weren't, I didn't always have the most people watching at the time. And I went back, and we're celebrating 5 years in July, at the beginning of July. So I went back and I started looking at, it took a few years till I started live streaming. Because when we got some money from selling some mystery boxes at one of our expos here, one of the first things we did was we bought new lights, which I still use. We bought the Rode Go, or the Rode video mic that we still use, and we bought this webcam right here that I still use. So definitely worth investing in those. But I watched some of those early live streams, and I thought I was comfortable doing them back in the day, but I look at them now and I'm like, that's kind of silly. So it makes me go, man, 5 years from now, what am I going to do when I look back on tonight's stream? I'm going to be like, what a sucker I was. That's not how you do a live stream. He's kept playing that Joker video. It's so stupid. Oh, it would totally be epic to go out there and see you guys. And I've always wanted to go out there. Always. I've never been out in the Northwest. The furthest west I've ever been is San Antonio. Furthest north I've ever been is, I don't know, what's higher? What's more north? Akron, Ohio? Akron and Salem, Ohio, or Chicago? Whatever that would be. but I've never been out there, and I've always wanted to go. Always. And I want to go and see, like, I mean, it's beautiful up there. You guys got forest, mountains, and it's pretty, right? You know, here in Alabama, we got pretty stuff too. But I want to see more. I've never been much in traveling. Like, I've never had the opportunity to travel too much. So I would like to get to doing more travel. That would be fun. I was talking about the van. My upcoming wedding is going to be DC versus Marvel theme, and she wanted to use Every Breath You Take at the reception. No, it is a love song. I think that's appropriate. I had a dude who got hung up one time because I don't remember what song it was, but it was an Usher song. His woman wanted, so they did something like for their vows, they played songs for their vows instead of actually writing vows. They had songs, right? And she played an Usher song, right? An Usher song. Like, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a really beautiful love song. But the dude was really bothered because he's like, it's Usher singing to me. And I'm like, come on, you can't. Come on. You just got to look at you don't think of that it's Usher singing it. You got to think of it as her singing it to you. Like, come on. That being said, Usher singing to me like a love song, I'd be enamored. I'd be like, thank you very much, Usher. You're one of the best dancers I've ever seen. Post Michael Jackson. Usher's a better dancer than JT, I'll tell you that. People give me shit for that all the time, and I'm not lying. Usher's one of the best dancers since Michael Jackson. Usher's amazing. He should be way bigger than he actually is. But he cheated on Chili. You don't do that. You don't fuck with TLC. But if you need the van for the wedding, please let me know. I would be honored to have the Joker van, the PCP Army Joker van, used in your wedding if you need it. Sleepy Reader says, we'll show you the sights. Yeah, I'm very excited. Show me the dispensaries, too. Yeah, you're right, David. David's always keeping me honest. Language, you got to watch my language. It's not a Teen Dog Shades night. That's not until next week, so you're right. I gotta slow it down. But where the blue van, that's a Sync reference. I understood that reference. Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I did. Yeah, I'd like to go out to Portland. You guys can show me where Brian Michael Bendis lives, and I'll go walk up to his door, and I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. You don't want to mess with TLC. They'll burn your house down. Y'all know what I'm saying. All right, we're just trucking along, aren't we? All right, y'all. Y'all ready? I got a brand new segment to debut, and I'm very excited about it. Very, very excited about it. And this is going to get cut into its own show or something like that, maybe. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. So I decided that I wanted to do a show about some of my favorite Marvel comics in the 90s, and I call it Marvel Comics in the 90s. Today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, Torment, issues 1 through 5 by Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane was a rising star in the 80s. He had work on books like Batman, Incredible Hulk, and of course, The Amazing Spider-Man. When he worked on The Amazing Spider-Man, he helped create the character Venom. Now, not only Venom, but his usage of the costume, big eyes, spaghetti webbing, differed just enough from the house style set by Romita back in the day. If you look at Romita's stuff, small eyes, thin webs, all that stuff, Todd McFarlane completely changed that with dynamic poses and perspectives, and no matter what you think about his artwork, it was definitely something new. Now, he was disappointed by his lack of creative input on Spider-Man, so he got to launch a new title, Spider-Man. The first story was Torment. It was a big, bloody gore fest, basically, of the time, with Spider-Man versus the Lizard. Spider-Man versus the Lizard, it was dark, it was brooding, it had a very, very dark tone that threw a lot of people off. It introduced Calypso. I don't know if it introduced her actually, but the Calypso with the former companion, it sold 2.5 million copies, in particular because there were variant covers, capitalizing on that spec market. It came out in 1990, and some retailers actually refused to carry it because it was very dark, very gory, very R-rated at times, especially for what it was doing at the time. So it caused some controversy, but it got a lot of people excited. People loved Todd McFarlane. Editorial and retailers, though, kept complaining about the dark tone of the book, and it pissed Todd McFarlane off. He got tired of redoing things, redrawing things. There was an issue number 16. That was the final issue right there before he left Marvel and started Spawn and Image Comics. So that's what I recently reread. I love it. I think it's great. It came out in 1990, so I thought the best way to start Marvel in the 90s was with not just Todd McFarlane, the Todd father, but one of their first big smashing successes of the 90s. 2.5 million copies of number one sold. You can't even dream about that right now. That's not even an option in the comic book market. What was it? C.B. Cebulski said something last year where we're gonna have a comic book hit 1 million. No, you're not. You're not at that level. There was so much hype. Now, a lot of it was fueled by speculation, but it was also just fueled because people really liked Todd McFarlane. Now, as I was saying earlier, I've become recently a Todd McFarlane fan because going into Spawn as a fan of Spawn and focusing on what I like, I'm getting to see what people like about Todd McFarlane's artwork. Todd McFarlane's artwork is dynamic. It's kinetic, but there are problems with it. Every critique I have on Todd McFarlane's artwork is very prevalent in this Spider-Man work, right? And maybe this is what tinged my dislike of Spawn, was what I thought about his Spider-Man work. It's so cluttered. People always say he's got detailed artwork. He does, but sometimes his detail is just hiding his mistakes in composition in particular. Some people have gone so far as to say that Todd McFarlane's never actually learned how to tell a story through the comic book page. I don't think that's true. Some people think his writing is a bit pretentious, especially in the Spider-Man run and into the Spawn run. Todd McFarlane's not the best writer, but he knows what makes a comic book exciting. He really does. I recently reread them. There's my issue 1. I got the silver. I've never gotten the gold. Maybe one day. There's number 2. And here's the thing. Sometimes the characters look wonky. Sometimes he takes a lot of shortcuts. Sometimes he's hiding mistakes with fake detail. Well, I can't really fault him for that because everybody does that. Y'all know I'm a huge Jack Kirby fan. Jack Kirby did that all the time. Strip Panel Naked, one of the best comic book YouTube channels out there, did a whole thing about Jack Kirby's style and how Jack Kirby developed his style specifically because it was a shortcut. There were shortcuts that he learned to make. Todd McFarlane's done that too. He does throw a lot of intricate detail in there at the expense of things like composition. He doesn't have the best page composition, I'll be honest with you. But every time you see Spider-Man in one of those big open poses, even if the anatomy makes no sense, even if there's no way that legs can bend around a body like that, even if his leg is wrapped around a tree and it makes no sense, there's something about the image that the moment you see it, the moment like that, it pops, it snaps, something in your brain, and you recognize the energy, the dynamic energy. And that's what Todd McFarlane does. Now, he carries everything over into Spawn. When you read Torment in particular, and the run kind of gets weaker as it goes. He did 16 issues of it solo. Like I said, he was disappointed. He didn't have creative direction. And even the idea that he's a co-creator of Venom is very much argued even today. But I'll say this. He was so bothered by people holding him back. Because, for instance, in that Spider-Man number 16, he had like a sword go through Juggernaut's eye. And they were like, this is way too excessive. It's way too much. And he goes, I have seen you publish way worse. Why are you pointing me out? And it's because it's Spider-Man maybe, and it was the big selling title. And yeah, you got 2.5 million copies out there on shelves. Guess what's going to happen? Kids are going to pick it up, and some moms, some dads are going to look at that and be like, what in the hell is my kid reading? Are you crazy? When I reread it, I was taken aback about how dark in tone the Spider-Man story was. We've had dark Spider-Man stories before, but usually they have a tinge of the classic wholeheartedness of Spider-Man. This was definitely something different, and definitely something that I think the majority of the fans at the time wanted. Another idea that maybe retailers are not always ahead of the curve of fans. Pay attention to those trends. See what they're wanting, right? I think it's fine. I think it's cool. It's got some moments of excess that don't age very well, but it really took the Lizard and made him a very threatening villain. He had subject material throughout this entire run that totally, when you read it, you're like, I completely understand why this guy did Spawn. Why Spawn came to his mind. Spawn was the things that he wanted to do. He wanted to make something dark, gritty. He wanted to focus on real-world, dark, gritty stuff. And he was able to do that with Spawn. He was hindered on Spider-Man, but he got to be a little bit more free with his own title. I think the first 5 issues are the best. The Hobgoblin story is pretty decent. The X-Force story is just terrible in my opinion. But at that point, Todd had checked out. He was late on the book at times, and it seems when Todd's not happy, he's not productive. Back in the Amazing Spider-Man days, he wasn't happy about his lack of creative control of the direction of the plot and story, so he started missing issues. They had to bring in fill-in artists, so they gave him his own book. He got unsatisfied with that, dissatisfied, I should say, and what happened? He jumped ship and went and did Spawn. And now, I used to always hate Spawn, and you guys know now I'm a huge Spawn fan. Self-chosen to be a Spawn fan. But I absolutely love what Todd McFarlane is and what he represents for the industry. He's one of the most powerful figures in the industry. Seriously. He put Spider-Man back on the map. Seriously. The 90s could have been all about the X-Men, but right before that, it was all about Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the height of every Marvel zombie's head. That's what all the headspace was taken up. People were loving Amazing Spider-Man. The introduction of Venom. It led to other things. Larson took over, of course, Amazing Spider-Man after McFarlane left, and then in came Mark Bagley. And I think it got super even more awesome from that point forward. However, what Todd has done for the industry, for himself, staying true to that creator-owned vision, wanting to do what he wants to do no matter what anybody says. It may not always be the best. And answering the pretentious stuff. They say Todd McFarlane's writing's pretentious. I'll tell you what, some of my favorite comic book writers, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, Neil Gaiman, guess what? They're pretentious as hell at times, and I forgive them. So why not Todd McFarlane? And why not celebrate Todd McFarlane for what he does and what he does so well? And he changed the game when it came to Spider-Man Torment in 1990. So I definitely had to start off the new segment of Marvel in the 90s with Todd McFarlane revolutionizing Spider-Man, not just the look, not just the feel and tone, but the entire direction of the story of not just Spider-Man, but the Lizard and other villains and things like that. It led to books like, what was that, Shed? What was that the name of the story? The really dark one with Chris Picciolo, Joe Kelly, where the Lizard finally eats his kid. Come on, man. This all starts with Todd McFarlane pushing those boundaries, and I applaud him for it. And that was the first segment we called Marvel in the 90s. So I hope y'all like that. I hope you like that. Let's see some comments about it. Frankie says, I love the Sinister Six storyline. I remember the Sinister Six storyline. Wasn't that the Eric Larson one? That was really good stuff. Herminio says, those Spider-Man comics from the Todd Fathers what clinched my love for Spider-Man. Brett says, missed out on the Spidey Todd McFarlane stuff, but if it's that dark, now I got to read it. Yeah, it's dark. It's bloody. It's drippy, gory at times. For its time, for Spider-Man in 1990, we're talking about the wedding just happened not too long ago. Like what? It's 87, something like that, 88 maybe? Yeah, seriously. I think you'll like it. I think you will. I think you really will. That Torment, and I always... It was never my favorite thing growing up, but I have more of appreciation for it right now. And what's cool is you see a lot of the themes that he's exploring in Spawn, starting to try to be explored in Spider-Man, but he was hindered, right? Comic Book Therapy says Spider-Man always looks like he's stuck in the webbing. How can he swing? Exactly. I don't know. Comic book magic. Everything Comics says, I used to call his artwork sensory overload, and I loved it. And you're right. It is sensory overload. If you really start studying it, you can find faults, you can find problems, but you can do that with almost anybody. It's a rarity where you can't do that. Let's see. Will is sitting here laughing. He's doing that look back alive. He said you're a machine. Hell yeah. I was like, let's do it live. Let's just do it live. It's a new segment I'm planning on doing every single week on Rockin Robbie Live. Marvel in the 90s. And maybe we'll do a DC every once in a while. Maybe we'll do a Dark Horse. Maybe we'll do an Image. Maybe we'll do a Caliber Press. What? Damien knows what I'm talking about. He says they had to find workable shortcuts to produce at the pace needed. Absolutely. Especially when you're Jack Kirby pumping out 5-6 books a month. McFarlane knows what dark and cool is all about. I love McFarlane's art, but it's a far cry short of my favorite artist of all time, Jim Lee. I'm more of a fan of Jim Lee, but I think that the criticism that people have on McFarlane as far as his inability to use effective composition and as far as his sequential storytelling method, I think Jim Lee I think Jim Lee's like that as well. So Jim Lee is someone who I've always liked, but he's I can't put him on my top 5 because I just don't think he's as strong in the sequential department. I would actually start giving a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, don't get me. You do not get me wrong, Bob. You better not get me wrong. I'm a big Jim Lee guy. I love Jim Lee. Wildcats, X-Men, his Fantastic Four. Like, I love me some Jim Lee. His Batman, whatever. I think both him and McFarlane, they're not as sophisticated in sequential storytelling and that aspect of it, and the composition. But I think that's the same with all of those Image guys. But that was the style of the day. It was more about pinups and less about storytelling. It was less Frank Miller and Will Eisner and more McFarlane and Lee. What particularly made you start to like the Spawn character? Robert, it was just me. We did a PCP movie poll, and Spawn was the second place winner. So we wound up doing a Spawn movie review anyway for the 97 Spawn film. And I enjoyed the nostalgia of it, and I on that stream, and you can go back and replay it towards the end. I mentioned, I say, guys, I just want you to know that from now on, I am going to be a Spawn fan. I'm going to be a Spawn fan in 2020. And what that meant to me was that I was going to read Spawn and live my comic book life as if I love Spawn. And so that meant focusing on what was good about it and not focusing on what I've never liked about it. And the reason why I was never a Spawn fan, why I didn't really like Todd McFarlane's work, and I decided to jump out of that. And I think that's a good exercise for people to do in their own life. If you can just change an opinion, say you never liked broccoli, and then one day you go, I'm going to like broccoli. And if you can will yourself to like broccoli, which you can, that means it's easier for you to will yourself to do anything. And life throws things at you sometimes where, like, you got to stay inside for 5 or 6 weeks. And your willpower, you can train that. It's a muscle. You can build it up. And these are ways that you can do that. And you can be shifty. And one thing I do all the time is a paradigm shift. And silly little things. And it's a great exercise to do. Maybe I can elaborate more on this next week since it will be a Teen Dog Shades night. But shifting your paradigm, shifting your belief structures, shifting things like that at will, and then full-heartedly committing to it can be a very effective way to actualize your own life. Because most of the reason why people aren't happy because they're not doing what they really want to do. And it's usually because they just don't know how to shift into the right wavelength to do what they want to do. And learning to shift silly little things like, I've never been a Spawn fan. Let me be a Spawn fan. Let me go gung-ho into being a Spawn fan. And it's a crazy thing. And you can apply that into larger aspects of your personality, psyche, and life. McFarlane has good ideas, but his dialogue I struggle with. Yeah, he's not good at dialogue. No, he's not. That's why my favorite Spawn issue so far has been written by Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, and Neil Gaiman. But he knows who to hire, doesn't he? Have to do a Valiant in the 90s segment and Malibu. Well, you might see some Malibu goodness in my final 9 tonight. What is funny is how I read it now, and I think, is it too much for a 12-year-old? But when I was 12 reading it and loving it, it helped me grow. Yeah, right? You can read that now and be like, yeah, this is too much for a 12-year-old. But that's how, in 1990, I was like 9 or 10. I remember reading it, but I remember not liking it. I remember being like, this is too much. But my biggest thing at that age, and I was very young, but my biggest thing was I really liked that classic, like, Romita look. Because, Ditko co-created Spider-Man, but then Romita jumped in, and Romita defined the house look of Spider-Man for decades. And Todd changed that up. And now everybody mostly does the Todd McFarlane stuff, right? He's one of the most powerful people in comic books. He raised $1 million for his Spawn Kickstarter in one day, and now he's at $2 million. PCP Army's on the way, though. We raised money for a Joker van. You never know what's possible. Maybe we can raise $1 million. No way. Jim Lee is my favorite easily as well. His art and covers made me pick up comics. Yeah, his stuff is dynamic, too. That's what they're good at. They're good at enticing you, that the very first impression that your brain makes, the very first neuron that fires off. That's what they do so well. If you linger, you start to see the cracks. It's not like a Magnola, where the longer you linger, the better it becomes. Same thing with Kirby. They're kind of the flip side of that, but you need both sides in the industry. And they're people that like either or. It's the yin and the yang. It's what it is. No man on earth has made as much money drawing the same picture over and over and over. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know that Spider-Man #1 cover. He's done that so many times, and yeah, exactly. What's crazy is this. I learned this. This was on, I think, maybe the Wikipedia page. So I don't know if this is completely accurate, but Wikipedia for the most part is pretty decent. At that time, Todd McFarlane said that he was making about $1 million a year already. I don't doubt it. But that's before he even did Spawn. That's why he was able to do Spawn. That's why he was able to throw that money in there. He was able to invest his money in decent ways, especially his toy company. Then he invested in not so decent ways when he bought up all the Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa baseballs. And I bet those have been devalued, right? Oh, Lordy. Yeah, John Romita Sr. Did I say Junior? I meant Senior. John Romita Sr. Tyler says, same picture over and over. Art Germ says, what's up? You're right about that. Same with Matina, I think. But definitely Art Germ. But sometimes, I go, oh, well, there you go. Off topic, but Robbie, you got to do a classic monster movie watch again. Those were fun. Yeah, I do want to do one again. I want to do one with Dylan, too. We were talking about that. Will you watch the HBO animation of Spawn? Barry, I love Spawn, the animated series. I still think that that's one of the best ones. I love it. Keith David as Spawn? Come on. Have you seen a Todd McFarlane interview lately? He'll tell you his weakness in writing and his art. He don't care. He's straight gangster with it. Yes, he is. He knows his faults. He knows what's up. That's why in the early days he used that money that he had and he hired Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman to do a lot of work for him. In Super Gods, Grant Morrison even says, like, those 3 issues of Spawn he made paid him more than anything else he was doing. Paid him more than all of Doom Patrol, probably. Hey, what's up, Led Zepp? How you doing? Oh, thank you so much, Brett. He says, the PCP Army is the wind beneath my wings. Hell yeah, we're having a great time here on Rockin Robbie Live tonight. We just did the Marvel in the 90s thing, right? Wasn't that fun? We got a top 5 that I'm doing live too as well, about to come up. Because why the hell not? Why not get an extra top 5 in there every once in a while by doing one live? I'll tell you what, though. Top 5's returning this week. I know I said this last week. I said that we're going to do a Hickman video, but we didn't. But tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, my top 5 Jonathan Hickman video is out. So be on the lookout to that. Tomorrow morning, my top 5 Jonathan Hickman comics video releases. Thursday morning at 9 a.m., my top 5 DC New 52 comics video will be releasing. And Friday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time, join the PCP Excitable crew in talking about Johnny Dangerously, winner of the most recent PCP Army movie poll. We got a new poll up right now, so be sure to jump onto the PCP Army and vote for your favorite modern horror classic. Dylan from Dylan's Comics is going to be joining us for this one. Lots of exciting picks. Mikey with the Super Chat. Mikey, I'm very excited about this new microphone, more excited than I was about the Joker van, so I really appreciate you once again throwing in, shipping in, to help the PCP Army get this new microphone. Because if we can get a Joker van, we can get a microphone. If you appreciate the Joker van, just give Mikey a big shout out and say thank you. Really like this music. It's good. I could watch that all day long. Yeah, it was about to. The song was about to break out, by the way. I should really let it play longer. I let it play longer on some live stream I just recently did. Anyway, thank you so much, Mikey. He says, currently and from now on, watching this on my TV. Well, thank you so much for realizing my dream of Joker vans, microphones, and being on TV. Thank you so much. Eric wants to know, do you think that Disney buying Marvel removed a lot of grit and darkness from Marvel, FF, and Avengers art, for example? Disney buying Marvel definitely helped clean some things out. I know a lot of people, including me at times, I think that they sometimes over-sexualize the women characters in the comic books for a while. Sometimes it's just a little, it just feels dirty. It just doesn't feel right? So a lot of that's been cleaned up, I would definitely say. But I also just think that's a trend that's in the market, because you learn that if you don't ostracize half of the population, maybe you can sell some more comic books. So I think that that's a good change that's happened in comic books, being a little bit less TNA. There's room for that if you want that. There's plenty of books. There's Vampirella. There's Lady Death. There's all that stuff. So I think it's cool to kind of up the game a little bit. Be a little bit more sophisticated in the superhero stuff. So you've seen a little bit of elements from that. But for the most part, I think Disney's been leaving it alone. Comic books are kind of right now a petri dish of story ideas. And so that's why you see so many comic book stories get optioned up and snatched up. Even if they don't make them, maybe it's just so that nobody else does. So, yeah, you get cool stuff like that. Little critique, crop the Joker, ditch the background. We'll see. Maybe. That Joker video has me clapping like that all the time now, and my wife tells me to cut it out. That's hilarious. Teen Dog Shades? Teen Dog Shades are going to be next week. Next week, Teen Dog Shades night. Y'all get ready. Start researching Atlantis. We're going to get wild next week. Super wild. All right. Appreciate that super chat, though, Mike. You really do. And everybody appreciates the Joker van video, which you brought out. You have evoked it. All right. Well, we did the Marvel in the 90s segment, so now let's do the top 5. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for my top 5 favorite NES games of all time. That's Nintendo, everybody. We're going straight up old school Nintendo's NES favorite Nintendo game. I'm going top 5. Let me know your favorite right now. top 5 Nintendo games for the original NES. This is favorite. My personal favorites. At number 5, Double Dribble. I love this game so much. It's not really the Lakers. It's not really the Bulls. It's not really the Celtics. It's not really the Knicks. But it kind of is. This is the first basketball game I ever played, and I absolutely loved it. Number 4, Super Mario Brothers. Come on, you cannot not love this game. I love all 8 levels. It gets challenging, but it's always fun, and it's very infuriating as well. At number 3, Bases Loaded. Bases Loaded is a great game. Not only can you beat a batter, you can charge the mound. Lots of cheats, lots of fun stuff. This is a great baseball game that I still go back to and play today. At number 2, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I absolutely love this book. I'm so used to talking about comic books. I absolutely love this game. It's so much fun. It's all about timing. I've never been able to beat Mike Tyson without using the Game Genie cheat codes, but I love this game. It's so much fun. At number 1, though, Super Mario Brothers 3. This is by far, in my opinion, the best NES game. I love it so much. It's got so much replayability. It's like in my favorite video games of all time. It's probably second to my favorite, which is Super Mario World, which this was like everything in Super Mario 3 led to Super Mario World. So absolutely. And that's my top 5 favorite NES games. And I asked you what yours were, so now we're going to look at the comments. Matt, what's up, says Contra. Hero and the Kid said PC Pro'em? What? What? RC? Oh, the RC game? Is the RC Racer? Is that what we're talking about? Something like that. I remember that one. That was really good. Everything Comics with Tecmo Bowl. Hell yeah, Tecmo Bowl. Bo Jackson was a beast. A beast. Led Zeppelin says Double Dragon, Master Blaster, Super Mario Brothers, Contra, and Tiger Heli? Tiger Heli. Everything Comics. River City Ransom was another of my all-time favorites. And then lastly, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Here on the Kid says Spy versus Spy. Hell yeah. I remember I was loving the Gremlins game, the DuckTales game. There's a lot of games that I love. Well, thank you so much. The Big Ticket with Jay Rocky says, this is a great live stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. I try. Herminio says, Punch-Out, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Bases Loaded, and Contra in that order. That's a great top 5. David says, Ultima 3 and Zelda. Yeah, RC Pro-Am. Yeah, that's a really good game. Duck Hunt's a good one, too. The Castlevania games are good. 1, 2, and 3. I also love Ghosts and Goblins. Oh, I almost thought about that. Mega Man 2 is really good. I was never a big Metroid fan or Kirby guy. I never really played those. I know people like those. I almost wanted to do a shout out to the Friday the 13th game. I never knew how to play that right when I was a kid, but I absolutely love that game. The Castlevania games are great. Gremlins was cool. The Uncanny X-Men game. There's a Silver Surfer game that I'm starting to like even more. It's like Caverns of Mars in a way. It's really infuriating. There's the Punisher game. So there's a lot of good combo games. Probably next week we'll probably do our top 5 favorite comic book video games for the NES. And maybe we'll throw SNES. Maybe we'll just do like pre-2000. Yeah, next week we'll do, for the question of the week, we'll do favorite superhero comic book game pre-2000. That's what we'll do. Eric says, used to play Donkey Kong, but sucked at it. Big Ticket with J-Rock says Contra, Mega Man 3, DuckTales, and the TMNT arcade game. Yeah, and I really like the first TMNT too, where you get to go above and below the sewers, and that's kind of a fun game too. Battletoads, difficult to shit, but fun to play. Strider. Barry says Final Fantasy, Double Dragon, Mega Man 1 through 6, Legend of Zelda, and Friday the 13th. Mikey says Monster Party. Led Zepp with TMNT. And then, yeah, TMNT 2 was the arcade game, and then 3 was Turtles in Time, right? See, I never played the Nightmare on Elm Street game. I didn't know there was one. I'll have to find it. I had Gyromite with the robot. What a slow game. I don't even remember that one. Yeah, Turtles was lit. All those Turtle games were good. Oh, yeah, that X-Men and Nintendo game was terrible, but I still love it just because. That Wolverine game, too. I do like the Punisher one, though. Pro Wrestling is my top 10 favorite. Love Starman. I also really liked, what was it, Blades of Steel? That was a good hockey game for the NES. Yeah, Castlevania is a great one. Me and Brooks actually played through Castlevania. Well, we almost played through it. We almost finished it, but then I got tired and we'll finish this some other time, and we never did. And then the pandemic happened. No, I don't think the stories have been kidified, though. I think they've toned down some things, but I don't think they toned down. Well, maybe. I mean, maybe there might be some valid ideas to that. But I think that was kind of on the way already. Axel Alonso was kind of leading towards a lot of that. As far as the stories being more kidified, maybe it's an attempt to try to get more kids into it. I mean, I definitely think the new Warriors thing's an attempt to try to get more kids into their stuff, and maybe it's not going to work. Ghost and Goblin may not be the easiest game, but it was fun. I really liked it. Yeah, a lot of them NES games are really freaking hard. Dragon Quest. People said Contra. Nobody said, what's the one that gets touted as being one of the best? Oh, that's SNES. Never mind. But yeah, all that aside, I mean, maybe there's been some influence, but I think the influence has been mostly on that kind of stuff. It's just making it a little bit more like, I don't know, by Disney standards or something. I don't know. Have the stories gone more kiddie? I don't know. Do you think Venom's gone more kiddie? Do you think the new Thor run's a little kiddie? I don't know. I think they're still pretty solid in doing what they're doing. I think some of the excessiveness has been dropped out, though. Mega Man 2 was great, says Herminio. Metal Gear and Ninja Gaiden were popular. Hell yeah. Excite Bite. Hell yeah. What about Paperboy? And what about Skate or Die? Do you guys I should have put Skate or Die. I think I like Skate or Die better than Double Dribble. But I played so much Double Dribble when I was a kid. Oh, so much. So damn much. So damn much. All right, we're about to get to the show and tell segment. I appreciate all the super chats tonight, helping us get the new microphone and celebrating the idea that we got the Joker van. Very excited about that. So thank everybody so much for that. If you want to support us in another way, you can do so at PCP. What? No, patreon.com/PCP. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. Pop Culture Philosophers is on Facebook and Instagram, and if you're on Facebook, you might as well join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. There you can vote in the new poll. The winner of the latest poll is Johnny Dangerously. That movie review will be live, Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. Tomorrow morning, my top 5 Jonathan Hickman comics video comes out, and on Thursday morning, my top 5 DC New 52 comics video comes out. We talked a little bit about Spider-Man in our brand new segment, Marvel in the 90s. We talked about my top 5 favorite NES games. We talked about the distribution wars and all that jazz and a whole lot more. We've had a great live stream. No, Mikey, I got some major love for Super Mario Bros. This is my number 3. Remember that was my number 4. My number 4 was Super Mario Brothers. What a great game. What a fantastic game. So good. We're about to get to the show and tell portion of the show, so if you got any final questions, thoughts, concerns, comments, get them in right now and I'll address them. But we'll be doing a little bit of show and tell. Got some action figures to open up. Farge and Ice Holes. Yeah, Nintendo has so many classics. Last week we talked about Atari. This week we talked about NES. Next week we're going to be talking about our favorite pre-2000 superhero comic book video games. So get ready for that. Now it's time for show and tell. We're going to open up some stuff, show off some stuff, and then do the final 9. First thing we're going to open up tonight is the new Fantastic Four related pop. I've been slowly picking up my Fantastic Four line. Today we're doing Herbie. Because why the F not? Why the FF not? So let's open up this Herbie pop. Very excited. They did a very extensive first wave of Fantastic Four. They did the Four. They did Doom. They did a Namor in a different line right before, so I just include that. Did Galactus, Silver Surfer, Mole Man, Super Skrull. I've yet to get those. I asked Mike the Voice, what do you think I should do for my next one? We all agreed Herbie. Herbie, of course, is the robot member of the Fantastic Four, who was developed because at a certain time when they did the second Fantastic Four series, animated series, the rights to the Human Torch were lent to someone else, so they didn't have the rights to do Human Torch, so they needed a fourth character, so they created Herbie the Robot, created by Reed Richards. And then John Byrne brought him into the comic books, and other people keep using him in a very humorous way because he's kind of hated by a lot of Fantastic Four fans, but he's actually a very important and fun member of the Fantastic Four. And I love me some Herbie, so I'm glad they did a Herbie. Herbie's going to help Pinhead and Spawn up against Joker in the Joker van, Mole Man, and Starscream. So I want to know right now, who do you think would win this battle? Herbie, Pinhead, and Spawn versus the Joker in the van, Starscream, and Mole Man. Who wins? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know who you think would win. You know, I've been getting these. Yeah, it does look like the bad robot. The J.J. Abrams, yeah, it does. Y'all know I've been getting into these Masters of the Universe figures that Super 7 did that are based to be like the original Masters of the Universe figures, but painted to be just like the animated series. And I've slowed it up. Last week we got a Evil Lyn. Today we're doing Trap Jaw. So we're going to open up the Trap Jaw so we can add him to the lineup. You can see my Fantastic Four and the He-Man figures I have right behind me, so I'm going to duck down real quick so you can see them. Yeah, there you go. So let's open up the Trap Jaw. Really like these figures. Like I said, they're made in the style of the old school ones, but they got the paint jobs to reflect the animated series from the 80s. So here's the Trap Jaw right there. Decent looking figure. The mouth moves just like in the original figure, and he's got different arms to put on. Let's take a look at him. Trap Jaw was a great figure. And we got some attachments for his arms. First of all, we got the claw. There he is with the claw. That's pretty cool and decent, right? Maybe it goes more like that way. That looks better. We got the hook for when he wants to be like a pirate. We got the hook hand. He can hang on things, right? He's a cyborg. You know, when they did the Masters of the Universe movie back in the 80s, they were developing a sequel, and the sequel was going to have Trap Jaw, right? And they had gotten some plans and some ideas, and then they lost the rights, and that company went on to make Cyborg, the Van Damme film, and they used pretty much all their ideas for Masters of the Universe 2 for Cyborg. And then there's his laser cannon. I like this hand a lot. I like the hook one probably the best, though. Very excited to get this Trap Jaw Cyborg member of the evil, not Horde, but what does Skeletor call his crew? The Skelecrew. Why not? But yeah, we got the Trap Jaw. So let's see. This changes everything. Y'all ready? Now Trap Jaw has joined the Joker with the Joker van, Starscream, and Mole Man. Who wins? Herminio says Spawn by himself loses, but adding Herbie flips it around. The heroes win. Led Zepp, these new ones that have been coming out from Super 7, I think some of them may have gotten a little bit more dicey to find, but these are great ones because if you want to find the originals, they would get pretty pricey, especially for a 3-year-old. But things like this, they're really cool. You know, they're like $20 each. Maybe you can find them cheaper, but they're fun. I got a glow-in-the-dark He-Man will be opening up soon. It seems like I want to open that up on a Teen Dog Shades night. Maybe we'll do that next week. Yeah, Eric. Eric says, I heard Herbie was created because they didn't want little kids to pyro themselves out of admiration. That is actually an urban legend. That's apparently not a real thing that happened. Apparently it was because the rights to a Human Torch animated series were given to someone else. Because at a certain point, if you remember, there was even a Thing animated series that was completely bonkers. Thing ring, do your thing. So that's actually what was supposed to be that. So they weren't allowed to use the torch, so they brought Herbie in instead. But I always, for the most part of my life, believed that story, but after doing a lot of research, apparently that is not true. And John Byrne even actually kind of addresses that in an issue because there's a kid who catches himself on fire to be like the Human Torch in one of the issues of John Byrne's run. Eric says Spawn wins. I hope he's left-handed, otherwise his lonely nights are going to be painful. Well, they're always painful when you're Trapjaw. Damn it, that's cheating. Villains are back. Hey, so the villains win? That means the Joker van wins, right? I'm going to let it play for a minute so you can hear the rest of it, too. Hey, look at that. You got to look at the Joker video even without a super chat. Yeah, it gets even better, doesn't it there? Yeah. It gets fire. I got one more thing here for show and tell before we get to the final 9. Everything Comics says, this has been a great way to spend my Sunday night while editing. Thank you, Robbie. Well, thank you, Bob. And you're editing. That means that we got a Comics and Coffee video coming up. And I know that tomorrow morning we're getting the Coffee and Comics video, the all-new Comics and Coffee video, right? So we're getting new Bob content. I'm very excited. Cha-cha-cha. That's exactly right. Joker and Starscream, 2 of the all-time manipulators, they'd find a way to win this. I think so, too. Spawn wouldn't want to use his powers. He'd get a hole in his chest from Trapjaw and Starscream. Herbie would just flip out, and Pinhead would be like, I'm out of here. I'm with y'all. Villains win that one. Pinhead might join them. He might ask Trapjaw if he wants to be a part of the Cenobite crew. So here's another thing. So I talked about this on Friday on the Pitch Black review, because here's the thing. Even if you don't care about the movie reviews that we do, for instance, we just did the Pitch Black one that was the winner of the PCP Army poll. The new winner is going to be Johnny Dangerously. Even if you don't care about that. So if you notice, the videos are like 2 hours long. The first 30, 40 minutes is usually the movie review. And then after that, we're just bullshitting for a while. So it becomes just a regular PCP live show, but with the excitable PCP crew as well. Yes, Comics and Coffee is back. New Bob content, but we had to postpone filming with Bueller by another week. Okay. Yeah, he probably got wrapped up with the mainframe stuff, right? So I've been addicted, as I mentioned on the Pitch Black video stream. We had a great discussion about how I don't have a toaster, nor do I want a toaster. And then we had a great discussion about breakfast sandwiches. But I was talking about one of my new YouTube obsessions is this YouTube channel called 3D Bot Maker. And he does these like Hot Wheels, like 1/64 diecast racing. And he's got this elaborate track that he's built up. And I've never been a Hot Wheels guy except for when I was a kid and I like getting certain Hot Wheels. But I was at the grocery store today. They had this big thing of dollar Hot Wheels. So I got me one. So there's my first Hot Wheel I've gotten in a long time. I plan on trying to get some of the guys together, maybe building a track and racing these. But I've always said I like a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, especially purple. Look at that. That's beautiful, right? So I just wanted to show that off because I'm totally addicted to this. And y'all need to check out the channel. 3D Bot Maker. 3D Bot Maker. Oh my goodness. It's more exciting than real racing to me. I love it. I love it so freaking much. It's got commentary. It's well shot. It looks amazing. Holy cow. So we are now at the end of the show, which means it's time for my final 9. If you have any final thoughts or questions or whatever, get them in right now. This is the very end. Very end. And once again, we appreciate all the super chats tonight, helping us get a new microphone so I can move it and be cooler. And it's the very microphone Joe Rogan uses. So once again, Mikey, John, and the rest, I want to say thank you. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Here's my final 9. My final 9 comics I'm showing off from my personal collection. First of all, here's my Secret Wars number 1. Secret Wars 2, number 1. I read this as a kid before Secret Wars 1, I'm pretty sure. And I loved it. Loved it so much. The Jerry Curl Beyonder, I love it. I love this series. It's so stupid. It's not good, but I absolutely love it and adore it. It's very nostalgic to me. Second one, you know, this is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. It's The Thing. The Thing when he had his own series. Thing number 1 right there. I'm working on getting the complete run. I've got a lot of them. There's my number 1. I recently mentioned that I had gotten Brian Boland's Camelot 3000, but I've yet to read them. Well, I found them today. So there's my Camelot 3000 number 1. Monumental series. Came out right along The Watchmen. Bob, I told you we had some Malibu coming up. Street Fighter number 1. First Street Fighter comic book released in America by Malibu Comics. First of a 3-issue series. It's terrible, but it's fun. Why not, right? Next up, Redneck number 12. It's the homage variant to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Done to look like the Thanos number 13 or whatever it is, right? Super cool. Love that one. Redneck's a good book. We were talking about that last night on Dylan's birthday stream. Next up, we talked about Gideon Falls. Here's my Gideon Falls number 1 Director's Cut edition. I have the regular and I have the Director's Cut edition. The Director's Cut edition has black and white artwork and it has the original script by Jeff Lemire. So definitely something to check out if you're interested in the craft of comic book making and you know and understand and recognize that Gideon Falls is one of the best comic books available right now. Check that out. That's really cool. Y'all know I'm a sucker for foil. Here's an Action Comics 1004 Steve Rude cover, foil cover. I absolutely love this cover. Don't necessarily like the book that much, but the cover is fire. I love it. Here's my Kanto number 1, and it does have the spine damage. It's the print defect that's on everything, on all of them. But there it is right there. I know this kind of jumped out the first week, but I was ready for Kanto from the get-go. Subscribe to it, very first person in my shop. Of course, it's not difficult to do that. I am the store manager. But there's my Kanto number 1. If you've never read Kanto, you definitely need to read it. Bob from Everything Comics has been reading it, and he loves it. And the final one for my final 9 tonight will be a Bizarre Adventures number 33. Just picked this one up because it was a cool photo Dracula cover. This is from the Marvel magazine group when they were doing horror magazines and the Conan magazines. It's got a Tomb of Dracula story. It's got a Tales of the Zombie story, Vault of Evil, Haunt of Horror. I love old school 70s and 80s Marvel horror, 70s, early 80s. Had to get this one. So there's my final 9 for the night. And speaking of final 9, there's Bueller right there. He says, "Hi, Robbie, you are so amazing. Hashtag bromance." Yeah, that's right. The bromance of 2020. Bueller and Rockin Robbie. Bueller, don't forget, we're doing a Teen Dog Shades night soon, me and you. We promised everybody we're going to talk about aliens. But we'll have a regular Teen Dog Shades night here next Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. So be here for that. What do we got coming up here at the channel? We got lots. Tomorrow morning, my top 5 Jonathan Hickman comic book video comes out on Thursday morning. My top 5 DC New 52 comic book video comes out Friday night at 8 p.m. U.S. Central Time. We'll be doing a live review of Johnny Dangerously, the winner of our Michael Keaton PCP Army movie poll. Get into the PCP Army right now and vote for the new one. Lots more excitement, too. We finally had the return of the weekly comic book review with print comic books. Print comic books resume this week. I'll be talking about Daphne Byrne and The Dreaming and the reprints of the Batman books. Because why not? Why not, right? So there are probably going to be 2 weekly comic book reviews this week, because I'm probably going to do one for the DC print books, and I'll probably do a digital one as well. So lots to look forward to. Bueller, I love you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for having me on your channel. You had an amazing week. An amazing week of interviews. He had Jim Mint on Monday, me on Tuesday. He had Comic Tom on Wednesday. He had Reggie Collects on Thursday, and he had Brian from Simple Man's Comics on Friday. A great week. I want to see more interviews from you because you do a great job doing some interviews, and I want to see some comic book creators on there as well, and I want to see more me and you on the stream. And here's one thing. I'm not going to lie. We all got an ego. I went on there. I look. I was like, who's got the most views? Who's got the most likes? Who's got the most dislikes? And I am proud to say that my video with Bueller was the longest. That means I talked longer than all those others. Anyway, that was absolutely a fantastic week. Bueller, you did a great job this week, and I'm sure you did a great job tonight with Ron Mars, and I know you had another one, right, for Mainframe, so super cool. Super, super cool. So we got lots of excitement here at PCP coming up in the community. Bueller, Bob, they got some great things coming up. Jim Mint's got some great things coming up. Got to give a shout out to all the YouTubers, my fellow comic book YouTubers that popped in, like Jim Mint, Bueller, Everything Comics, and Sleepy Reader 666. I always appreciate it when a fellow YouTuber jumps in. So thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. Yeah, longer is better. Yeah, that's why we're like over 2.5 hours right here on a regular-ass Rockin Robbie live. Of course, it doesn't hurt when I have... Oh, Bueller, you missed all the fun excitement, so y'all, let's do it for Bueller. And also, Bueller, congratulations on 10,000 subscribers. Today is Dylan's birthday, so be sure to jump on YouTube and send him a happy birthday message. It is also, yesterday was the birthday of the co-founder of PCP, John Hammertime Holshoe. We're going to try to get him on this week's movie review Friday night. So a rare appearance on screen by John, the host of the PCP podcast. Hey, S Squared just jumped in the building. Man, you jumped in at the very end of the show. I hate that. But thank you for being here. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for the Joker van. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything from you out there in the community. Y'all have a good night. Keep on rocking. We'll see you tomorrow morning for Top 5 Jonathan Hickman Comics.